Definitely some technical difficulties, my friends. I'll try. I hope that don't happen again. You know, I gotta, I gotta wait for my guest. Damn, that kind of sucks. Let me see where we at right now. Yeah, that sucks. How many guests can I add, anyways? All right. Well, at least looks like it's working for now. Let me see. Let me check the comments. No. Let me see the messages. Live chat. All messages are visible. Okay. So where would that be? Yeah, I won't be able to see all messages. Yeah, my bad, y'all. I had some issues. Hopefully, it's all fixed now. Y'all let me know. I can't tell. I don't even think I could see the messages right now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on my phone. I've done it before on the phone, and I never had no issue. So I don't know exactly what's going on right now, but it looks like it's up and running. I don't see no messages at this moment. All messages are visible. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm so sorry, y'all. Welcome, welcome. San Miguel TV. I put on my hat, and it looks like everything's back to normal. But who knows, man? I've been having some issues with I wonder if it's my internet, because my internet's been really jacking up lately. And what up, Mr. Gonzalez Shakur in the house? What is going on? There's been a lot of things happening in the Icgjc, part of the Black Hebrew Israelite community. They don't like to be called those things, but it is what it is. I'm waiting on my guest. He's probably gonna be here in like 30 minutes. Let's see, what time is it? 8:26. Yeah, I'll say about maybe 9 o'clock. He said he'll join. So I'll keep that open. I'll keep that spot open. I guess if anybody wants to come on, in the meantime, we can make that happen. I think either way. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Let me see. I don't want to jack this shit up again. I'm trying to go like in and out of the live um, without causing any goddamn issues again. Let's see. Just I hope y'all can hear me loud and clear. I wanted to do this live for a minute with this brother. Not only with this brother, I wanted to talk about these issues or this live that happened recently with a Mr. Vocab Malone. If you know Vocab Malone, he is a Christian apologist. What was that noise? Somebody coming on? I think so. No, that was a message. He did. Vocab Malone did a live with um these cats from the ICGJC, which is very, very, very strange that they would do that. Because during that whole live, or during parts of that live, they were saying things like, these people got, they're pretty much like pooping. Let's use proper language. I don't want to come off the gate, come out the gate cursing and shit, but they shitting on our names. They're shitting on former members. There's a lot of people talking about things that was going on at ICGJC. And as you guys know, I am one of them, Mr. San Miguel over here, a former member of the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ in Orlando, Florida, right? Some of y'all know me. Let me see something real quick. I just wanted to check the the battery life. So yeah, a lot of y'all know me. You know, some of y'all, from what I'm seeing, y'all been here before. Y'all been on my channel. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what I do. I do a lot of different things. Mr. Shakur has been on as a guest. I miss talking to this guy, Mr. Ivan. Saint Ivan the Terrible is up in here. You know, people like this, man. We know you fear God. I'm listen, man. If that God of the Bible exists, he's terrifying. But I can't fear something that I don't believe exists. It's not what we're here to talk about. I don't want to get off topic. I'm just here because I put it on my channel that I was going to be on by 8 p.m. Eastern, and the brother wanted me to push it an hour forward because he's on a different time zone. And this is going to be his live. I mean, he's taking over San Miguel TV. I'm not going to be talking none of my crap. Nothing that you see me usually talk about. I mean, I'll be talking, of course. You know how I do. I'm gonna talk regardless. But you know, there's a lot of people that have a story to tell. I felt that this brother was one of them. Is one of them. Um, we had an idea of getting other people on. We had an idea of getting multiple brothers to come on and talk that can corroborate what we've been through, which I feel is it's pretty good to do that. There's power in numbers. I see that the Icgjc, they went live with Vocab Malone, and they did that. They brought on, um, people that can corroborate the stuff that they're saying and all of that. Mr. Killer B, the Witch Finder General. Now, this gentleman, right, he is a special, special case. And I mean it in the best way possible. And his channel is dope as hell, man. I love his channel. It is great. He talks about similar things, Black Hebrew Israelite, all that stuff. And he's actually put me on to a lot of things that I had no idea, about the community and about the ICGJC, ISUPK, all this stuff, man. Um, so go check him out too, man. There's a lot of people on here that are doing good things, doing dope things. St. Ivan has great music out there. I'm always checking his channel, and making sure I show love because, man, well, up in that place, we don't we don't get shown love, man. We get shamed and guilted, and everything is to tear us down and have us rely for this on this place as a means of like survival. They make us fear the world and fear going out there on our own and being independent. Being a light, man, a beacon on our own, because it's like you can do that on your own. You don't need a place to latch onto. But there are power in numbers, as I said. So people love, there's nothing wrong with building a community. I'm not against the community of these Hebrew Israelites, getting together and having their belief. Like, I'm all for that. I'm all for people having their own belief, because I'm all for freedom of speech. But at the same time, yeah, I know me. I'm gonna be talking. I have the right to do that too. So the same way people have the right, to believe whatever they believe, I have the right to speak against what you believe. We're gonna be doing a little bit of we're gonna be doing a little bit of that today. You'll see the guest in a minute. He's gonna show his face. He ain't scared. We ain't scared to talk. We ain't scared to expose this thing. We're not scared to debate. We're not scared to actually go live and talk about what, just let's talk, man. What is it? Why are you scared? These cats want to come on. See, now, this live that these cats like St. Basil, who wants to call himself, I don't even think he has, Mr. Russell G. Lewis. Much love. Show love to this guy. I mean, come on, man. Let's just show love to these people, man. Everybody that's on here, let's get the hands clapping. Yeah. Father of Mr. Elijah, who has a book out right now, and he speaks on some of these things. He speaks on a lot of things, which is one of the things I want to do eventually is write a book. I got a lot to say, y'all. You can see I have a lot to say. I've done debates with Gorilla Hebrew and Deacon Hakkad at the same time. They had me on on their channel, and these guys are not just the easiest. It ain't a walk in the park. Talking to these guys, you got to be ready, and I appreciate all that. We've seen most of the debates with the feds. Unbeknownst to you, does the BHI baptize new member? When you ask about baptizing, what do you mean, like as like the Baptist, like in water and all of that? Because they don't. Most of them don't believe in that. They wanted. So let me read. St. Ivan says they wanted us totally relying on them. Exactly that because of the numbers. Yeah, yeah. They wanted us. They definitely wanted us relying on them. A lot of people are still in there because they don't know what to do. When it comes time to leave, people are totally terrified of what is going to become of them after they leave this place. This is all they know. A lot of these people for decades. Some people have been in there that I can think of right now for I believe like 30 years. There's people that have been in there for very, very long time. Is my shit? I want to make sure my joint is charging. Okay, I'm sorry. It is. I don't want to mess up the live. Please don't mess up again. We had some technical difficulties earlier. I hope it don't happen again. If it does, I'll just come back on. I don't care. But my bad. I hate that the messages go away. The BHI back, meaning once you sign up, do they keep your member count? Even if you leave, well, they do keep a. Killer B says some dude. Do they keep you in their member count even if you leave? Well, like they keep track of everybody that comes in most of these places. I know IUIC and the ICGJC are very much about doing. They're doing everything in writing. They pretty much like if somebody starts to like become an unbeliever, they start to be dissenting and not coming around or whatever. They check the attendance. They know who are the regulars. They know who's paying tithes, especially if you're in the ranks. Now the ranks, that's a whole different story. When you come in there in some of these groups, there are like you can get like a rank. They have these ranking structures set up for people that want to be like heavily constantly in the work. But it has that they don't, for the most part. I don't know. These cats don't believe in baptism, from what I'm seeing, for the most part. Unless I'm missing something, unless something changed, because things are always changing up in that community. There's always something new. That's why I keep doing these videos, because there's always something new to talk about. It's like it's pretty entertaining. Some of the things some of these guys, especially GMS. Like I've done a few videos on these. These guys are very entertaining. I like to listen to people like GMS, man. I don't listen to them constantly or for long periods of time. It's kind of it's time consuming and it's very annoying, and like I can't, for the most part, I can't do it. It's like just for the sake of getting content, I'll do it. But other than that, it's like, man, it's really, really frustrating. So Mr. Saint Ivan the Terrible, man, he is a very noticeable face. Like I constantly seen him doing all types of stuff in that place. He's definitely was very well known. So if anybody has anything to say, like me, I was just like I'm the little old me from Orlando. I didn't have no big rank like that, and I'm over here just wanting to speak out because I felt it was important. But there was a lot of people that I felt needed to come out, and like I was waiting for a lot of people to come out. I didn't know Mr. St. Ivan's status. I actually took some shots at him, and we spoke like two men and squashed all that crap, and he made it clear to me what he went through. I was just ready to go at anybody's neck that I felt wasn't, associated, affiliated, especially somebody with a name like Mr. Saint Ivan, Kazaki Matanya. He was, man, just always around. We've crossed paths many times, and yeah. But then look where we are now, man. This is a beautiful point that I love. Where my channel has gotten to. I've never started this for the subscribers or for the what you call it. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I never felt like I was unimportant, but I felt like there's certain people that can make bigger impact. And I think this guy, wait till he comes, wait till you see and you hear. You guys know him. If you was around, you know this guy. He is very, we all have something to say, man. They make us feel, they want to make us feel like we can't live our lives without talking. And it's like, without mentioning them, and they're living rent free in our heads and blah, blah, blah. But they talk about us too. This is a constant battle for as long as they're gonna keep talking and keep making it seem like there's something, something big or something special. Um, and they try to invalidate everybody else. Yeah, if you're going, they keep pissing people off. There's a lot of people that have been hitting me up that are like, we need to get together and talk. So you're gonna see a few more lives in the future. I got some upcoming lives with some people from Florida that it's gonna be a good one because people from Florida pretty much like we know each other, man. We're gonna corroborate a lot of things, and it's gonna be fun to reminisce about things that we all went through together collectively. There's a lot of people here. There's gonna be people come on here from different places, different locations, right? Um, and the brother that's coming on, I'll give this little juicy nugget of information. He's from Minnesota. Florida was a major stronghold. Yeah, man. I'm one of these pioneers, I believe. I consider myself one of the people in Florida that really helped grow, the numbers and everything. Like I was there from the time when we was up in Mr. Gonzalez's crib, listening to classes. People would be up in there, you know. Tazadake even went up in there one time. And then I saw the growth, all of that was kind of, it was making me feel like, hey, we doing something, like I felt like we were doing something important. I saw changes, I saw growth, I felt like I was learning. I was definitely learning, man. I mean, the information that comes out is a lot of information that comes out. Yeah, my information. I appreciate you, Mr. Saint Ivan the Terrible. And I like your work, man. I like your art, your craft. You are doing your thing. I forget the name of the song where you had a video out in the street. The beat was on some old school. You did some shit. I forgot who you did. You went overseas and did some shows with DJ. Man, I forget that DJ. Like I know I'm hip hop f out, man. I'm into this joint. You even did a joint with somebody I grew up with, who's a rapper now. We spoke about all of that, but yeah, the brother right here always had so much stuff, so much art, man. It's just a gift that was kind of like held back because this place takes over. I used to go to the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I used to perform and do the open mics out there. I even met Mr. Miguel Algarin, out in over there, Alphabet City in New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I performed at the Bowery Pub. I used to do that, and I used to perform at the picnics. And then after a while, my whole life just became, the cult, just working for the cult, just getting people in and doing my duties as a captain and teaching classes and doing seminars. They even wanted me to start a goddamn prison ministry and shit. Like they had me doing so much up in there, and they don't give you the resources really. Like they don't give you the true guidance, because that's like your leaders start pushing you to do things, and they just push you out there into the goddamn world. May have to come on here live just to talk about Black Icon Business on this evening. Yeah, man. They was listen. I was pushing y'all to some of my friends in New York. I remember I spoke to one dude who's big into hip hop. He knows a lot of cats. Homeboy Sandman. He's real cool with him. He knows a lot of people and shit. He works out in Williamsburg at one of these bars that have a lot of these underground cats come and perform. And I was telling him about y'all. I was like, yo, you're gonna see these Byzantine kings. You're gonna see they're gonna be big. Bro, I was saying a lot of stuff that you was saying too. I was putting myself out there, talking a lot of crap, you know, disrespecting people, all types of stuff. Hey, bro, I made a lot. I said a lot of stuff, and you know what I did though? Because it was. I didn't do that with everybody. I kept a little. You told me a few things, and we're not gonna go into all that. That's for the future. But like there's people that do it different ways. I came in there and I separated. It's too sweet in here. God forgive Solomon. Yeah, bro. I mean, I don't know. You thinking about sodomites right now? Damn, bro. Why'd you have to bring that out? We talking about hip hop. Oh, anyways, we talking about different things. Now you damn mess up my concentration. Yeah, I done disrespected a lot of people though. And I kept a little, some friendships with people in the world while I was in this place. And I came out of it and apologized like a man. To some of these people that I disrespected. Some Jewish girl I knew. I called her a damn synagogue of Satan. You know, um, One of my friends who his mother he got some like LGBT. He's all LGBT, crazy LGBT. And I used to get on him online and just go back and forth with him. And he was one of my best friends. But I disrespected a lot of people according to my belief. Um, that's the thing about a cult. These cults, what they'll do is make you feel like you pretty much have no place anywhere else in the world besides this, whatever they're trying to put you at. Mr. Lobo domesticado. Meow, 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 meow. That's how I got you saved, by the way, on my phone. Lobo, the wolf pack is here. Remember the wolf pack? NWO and shit. Anyways, bro, we waiting on the guests, man. I'll tell you this, give y'all a hint. He's from Minnesota. That's it. I ain't gonna give you no more. I ain't gonna give you no more. Y'all seen him. Y'all know him. If you're from the Icgjc, y'all seen him before. I seen him all the time. He's helping me to gather some information. He has a lot of DVDs still. Incredibly, I have, I got rid of them joints. I actually sold them to one dumbass dude that was still trying to hang on to this place back in the days. And he was like one of the only ones talking to me because he was put out for 10 years, hitting me up still. I hit him up here and there, and he was just not trying to hear it. His excuse for Tazadakia, sinning and doing evil was, well, King David did evil. King David sinned, King David this and that. So therefore it's okay what Tazadakia is doing. The Lord's gonna straighten it all out. And I was like, God damn it, brother, you just what can I do, man? I was like, all right, man, you go, do your thing, man. If I hit you up, hit me back, man. Don't be like one of these punk ass cats. Be like, brother, I'm not supposed to talk to you. They like, yo, what are you, 7 years old? When your mother's like, don't hang out with that kid. He's bad news. I'm not supposed to talk to you, man. My mother said I can't talk to you, bitch. I appreciate the ones that did still talk to me. Because I was one of them cats, man. I'll still talk. I don't care, man. I would talk. I've gotten hit up by people, while I was still in there, I believe, and when I was out and still a believer, that was all on the internet already speaking against this place. And I wasn't reporting them. I wasn't being disrespectful to them, calling them all this negative crap. I heard them out, and then I stated my case. I presented my case and I made my argument on why blase blah. And I agree with some of the stuff they were saying. There's a lot of bull, shit that you got to deal with. And in Orlando specifically, I don't know what we was dealing with, man. In Florida, with goddamn Yashar's crazy damn maniacal asses. You know, he was. There's people that come in there with all types of issues, and they become your superiors. There's a lot that we got to deal with in there. I've met some really good people while in there, which, hey, there's a bright side to it. You know, there's some good things that come out of it, but that doesn't mean that we ain't gonna be. Oh yes, sir. I sold them my whole whatever I had left of the DVDs because me and my cousin who's still in there, by the way, the elect lady. Me and her used to put our money together on the Passover and just try to get all the DVDs. You know, using our goddamn tax refund to buy DVDs. The victim too. Bro, there's a lot of people that, I mean, anybody in there that comes out, man, I'll empathize. I'll talk to anybody, even your shark. But it's just certain things that was said, real personal shit. I just remember like after my brother died, man, he just made me feel like my brother was killed by God, because he was speaking against the church and shit. Like he really had me thinking that, and that shit's personal. Bro. That's my brother, man. Like this cat was on some. First of all, he was asking, when I told him I need to go up to New York for a funeral, he was on some, oh, okay, you got your duties, that which is crazy. You can't go to your. I couldn't. They were asking about me going to my brother's funeral. They were trying to decide whether it was okay because, boy, I had crazy rank. I was like a captain's 13,000, which is, I mean, for Orlando, that was pretty big. That was the top rank for a few years in Orlando. Definitely at least for 1 year. And after I told him, yo, my brother passed away, I got to go to funeral. He asked me, yo, was he a believer? Was he a believer? He asked. And I was like, nah, he's actually speaking against that place, like pretty vehemently, as you want to say. Um, and then he was like, after I said that, he was like, well, there you go, as if to say, like that's the reason he died. Like, bro, that shit kind of fucked me up for a little while. Shit like that. Other things that he would do. That cat was over the top, man. Over the top. But yeah, man, I done sold a bunch of my. Let me see. I don't sympathize anyone. Now you're just hard headed. I would say the same for my cousin, but then the grip is hard. Yeah, yeah, man. It's like, yo, I like talking to former members, man. I would love to create some type of like network, something where it's available and people know, like, yo, if you want to leave, you want to get out, you don't gotta reach out to anybody personally because some people might not want to talk to me, and I get that. But then some people, they might want to be anonymous and they want to just hit up, they could hit up a certain line. That'd be cool, like a, something like that. Uh, where they can, what you call it, where they can just call in and talk about how they feel at the moment, maybe get some understanding, and it could be just not just a Black Hebrew Israelite, whatever thing. It could be, yeah, heartless. Yeah, it could be just a cult thing. I've learned a lot about cults over the years, and I think I understand um, a good amount to where I can talk about the effects and the control, intelligently and how it works. Yeah, man. Damn, that leaves no who left us with this. Yeah, I'm active as hell. I like to be active. I like to talk to people. I got an email recently about somebody that's pretty big. I didn't know who he was at first, and then he hit me up on Facebook, and I saw some of the photos. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay, I know this cat was all over the place, constantly, like just one of those faces that you see, and you're like, oh, I know this guy, you know. And some he's like 2 weeks out now. It's people that are in different stages of deprogramming. Like, yo, the deprogramming is tough, yo. You gotta you go through a lot of different emotions and feelings because while you're in there, they get you emotionally. The emotional control is big. The time control, of course. You know, the what do you call it? The behavior control, information control is very important. The information controls was an important way for them to control what you hear, so that way if you don't have the information, you can't make a informed decision, a conscious informed decision on what to do at the moment. Man, where's my brother? Where's my brother? There's my brother. We need the guests to come on. We need the guests to come on immediately. Double time, brother. I remember one time we was up in New York, and Sham Sharon was yelling at KOC, March KOC from what you call Rebel Alliance. He was like telling him to do something, and then he tells him double time, brother. And KOC starts dancing when he said double time. He's like double time, brother. He starts doing some dance. That cat used to make me laugh like crazy. He didn't care, man. Like his attitude towards everything kind of like showed me that some people don't have any fear, and that's a good way to go about this. Like fearless. Just don't be scared to look up information. Yo, once you start looking up information, freedom, baby. You start feeling free. You start feeling like you have the power back in your life, man. You can take control over your life, man. These cats had way too much. We let them have way too much control over our lives. It was pretty ridiculous. Like we was the ones. A lot of people. Yeah, man. Listen, Tazadaka is the mastermind. He set the traps. He was the. You know, he was. People hate that cat. He's so hated. Okay, welcome back. My bad, man. I had some technical difficulties. Looked like he was the first one on there, so at least the first one to comment. But yeah, even though the trap was set, we fell for it. I took responsibility, accountability, and agency for the things that I did. I did things that kept me in there. I lied to myself. There's a lot of self deception that happens. While you in there, and you do it to yourself, man. You do it to yourself. It's a lot of that self deception that, man, we tell ourselves, don't listen to that, don't pay attention to that. Don't look at the man behind the curtain or whatever. Never mind this and never mind that. Hold on one second. Okay, we on. I'm still waiting. Ba-ba-ba. Okay, my bad, y'all. Give me a second. Let me make sure. I want to keep this thing. I don't want to have to put my charger on, but let me just keep it on, just for the hell of it. All right. I don't know how soon he's gonna come on. It looks like he did just message me, so that's good. But let me see. Well, that's that's what happens when you let somebody put that on my. Yeah, bro. It felt right, man. I can't explain it. It was a lot of different things. Arya being in there and Arya having the kind of like the name that he has, that power that he has, was pretty big for me. Um, Apostle and Chief High Priest Arya, Mr. Leo Sherrod, I believe. I forget Leonard. I think his full name. That cat right there, man. I saw the control, man. And even with people that would leave the cult, I've seen this with members that I don't hold it against the shard some myself. Yeah, we all messed up, man. Think about what we did while I was in there. I think about a lot of the crap that I did. I was disrespecting people left and right. Yeah, just straight disrespect, man. I had no love for non-believers. I had no love for some especially certain races. You already know how it is. I knew people from New York, some Jewish people and shit. You know, I knew a lot of Greek, Irish. I knew people from all walks of life, and growing up in New York City, like there's people, especially from Queens. You know, I'm from Queens, man. Queens has people from everywhere, all walks of life. Again, I might need to turn on this fan, man. It's getting kind of hot under these lights. It's a little hot in these rhinos. Um, but yeah, let me just do that real quick. Matter of fact, stay right there, y'all. All right. We are biggity back, biggity back, biggity back. Still waiting on the guest that will be coming on. Uh, I don't know what time. He said 9 o'clock, so we're gonna go by that. Let's see. Let's turn off this. Take off this charger real quick. And like I said, man, you're gonna. I've been talking to this guy so much over the last. I don't know what. It's been like months now because we've been planning this pretty much for months. We've been planning to talk about the Icgjc since before they came out and did their little you know whatever you want to call it. Some people say they are doing damage control. You know, some people say this was all just a way for them to just save face and just kind of make it seem like they're not scared. You know, that was the first thing that they brought up in the live. You know, I wanted to go through like the whole live. I might do a video, maybe a live by myself and do that and just go through all the bullshit that they was talking about. You know, from the doctrine to the false prophecies. There's a lot of bullshit that was being pushed to us from, prophecies, that things that were supposed to happen that never happened. You know, that doll. If y'all remember, there was a doll that was they they sued the doll maker for. I interviewed the doll maker. I had him on my channel. I did an interview with him some years ago to show people like his side of the story, so people can hear what he thought about it, because he has inside information on it. His inside information was very, very damning, and it woke me up to some things that I had no clue. I didn't know about. When it came to that lawsuit, I thought it was really important to hear at the time. Give me a second. I'm gonna fuck with the lights a little bit, and I might have to change up my. It's just kind of thick. I'm getting hot in here. Still waiting for my brother. Hopefully he comes soon. We are waiting. We are waiting. Let's see. Uh, yeah, I don't want to have it too bright. Keep it there, I guess. Change up the fashion. The fashion. Keep it comfortable. I don't feel comfortable on that button. But yeah, I'm still waiting on the brother. Hopefully he comes on soon. Um, yeah, what you call it? It would be nice to get some of these cats from the ICGJC to do like some type of like debate, something real where we can question them. If y'all hear me, my bad. Something where we can actually question these cats. Because they felt they had some safety in just kind of being, it was just being interviewed by Mr. Vocab Malone. Uh, he was tiptoeing around some things, just because these cats never come out. So, you gotta handle them with gloves and shit. don't want to push them away and scare them away. You know, these cats act like little babies and shit, and they don't really have uh they don't really want to be out here and get their feet held to the fire and get tested. They're kind of weak. You know, these cats are kind of actually weak when it comes to um holding out some type of status. They got no status. You know, they have fallen off. They fell from grace in this Hebrew Israelite community, pretty much. You know, I don't see them as one of the major players out here. I don't see them as one of the people that are, one of the groups that are out here making noise, um, actually hiding. And it's a tactic that is done by people that don't want to have to. They don't want to have to address things that are going to make them uncomfortable. You know, make the members start to think. So what they'll do, the best thing to do sometimes is just, what they've been doing. They just been hiding. You know, like when Vocab asked them, like, will we be able to talk to Arya? You know, I already knew the answer was gonna be hell no. The purple ninjas outnumbered. Oh yeah, the purple ninjas out there like housewares, man. They ain't playing. They are not playing. So I never seen any of them who can't speak. Yeah, man, they don't speak, man. They don't. They don't do that. Bible is true. I would not play with purple ninjas. Yeah, you know, I came across them before. These cats are doing. Yeah, yeah. Ty Mexico, welcome, sir. Yeah, I would love to get him. I would love to get you too, sir. Don't be shy. Don't be bashful like you ain't got nothing to say. I remember you up in there, brother, at the major councils, man. I remember specific stories where you. But yeah, no, it's gonna happen, man. We're gonna make it happen. They have a website where they can. For real? Okay, let me. I might have to do something like that too, y'all. It'll be 20% of your time. Y'all have to pay the San Miguel TV. Nah, but look at man, like, bro, we don't do. I don't do this for money. If I could get some financial whatever, somebody wants to send me some money, you think I'm gonna turn that down? No. But that's not what I'm here for. I don't put, I was doing it for a little while. I would put like I had a Patreon, but I don't even go on there. Somebody sent me a few people sent me like $5. Um, I'm waiting for somebody. What right now? I'm waiting for somebody to come in. He'll be here soon too. Backyard. Yeah. I started this joint, man, just to get the word out because you know how it is, man. They slap you with silence up in that place, so you can't speak to nobody. You know, they don't let you speak to them. It don't matter if it's your family. They don't want to talk about none of this crap. They just fucking just leave me alone and go about your antichrist business. You know, what time is it, man? I can't even see the time. But but yeah, I know a lot of y'all up in here know each other, and I mean, lots of familiar people here. Still keeping up. I appreciate y'all still coming through. San Miguel TV. I started this on my own. I started editing. I don't know, bro. I don't know what time is it right now. I can't. Oh, it's 9:08. He should be here soon. Listen, this guy. He's coming. Trust me. He is coming. Watch, real soon. I see it happening. Let me see if I got a message. Yeah, I sent him the link. I don't know if he should have got it. I don't want to be in and out of this joint because this shit will mess up like it did earlier. But he said 9 o'clock. You know, sometimes we run fashionably late. How many times I was late? We were late to major council and all that. Speaking engagements, we would always be late. It'd be like 30 of us, man. Well, we'll have the 18 passenger van. We had oh yeah, they done. See, that's what's going on right now. What I see is that Like, I think a lot of people are getting more confident in their disbelief and just like they don't even like they're not scared. Like back then, people was probably still scared, especially if you don't know how to confront this stuff and deal with it. See, I knew how to deal with it. I had some people I would talk to and reach out to. There was information coming out that I thought was important that was putting these cats out there on Front Street, man. Like for real, like it was getting exposed by a lot of people. Not just word of mouth, but it was like actual, evidence. Receipts is being pulled, man. And then I had my story that I never really. Um, I kind of like what Vocab did. Listen, I already knew. I was like, yo, you gotta handle them with gloves and shit. They're gonna be like, no, we ain't gonna do this. We ain't gonna do that. Yo, just the fact that these cats, somebody actually was able to interview them. I've never really seen them do anything like that. So I was like, all right, no doubt. Boogeyman isn't around no more. Yeah, especially after the death of this cat. I feel like what's going on too. Like it should be at this point where um like that place should be like leaking brothers. Like brothers should be coming out like on a regular, like constantly, and it's all good, it's whatever. Right now, you have the kids that was young growing up in there, and it's like that's like the only way they growing is the kids, you know. Yeah, he just said give me a couple minutes, so that's cool. We're gonna wait on him. This is his show. Y'all already know my story. Y'all haven't heard me talk forever. I've done debates, I've done breakdowns, I've done all of that stuff. I want to do a debate. I'm trying to get somebody from a group that I don't even remember what the name of the group was. I never heard of them before until today. And he was like, man, he said he came back and said, nah, I don't debate people of my own. I don't debate people of my own. Like he called me an Aztec or something. I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay, well, I would be a Simeonite. Damn, my bad. I'm clicking on comments by mistake. But he was like, I don't debate Aztecs, aka Issachar. Right? I was like, well, I'm not an Aztec guy. I'm not an Aztec kind of guy, Azteca. But I do eat a lot of tacos and all that good stuff. I like them corn tacos too. Not the flour ones, I can do that. But I ate a burrito today. You know, the brother used to always joke with me. Wilney used to call me. He's like, brother, you Issachar, because I used to be able to grow a thick ass mustache. Yeah, just a mustache, it's thick, and the beard would be like you see how I got all patchy. I got the Apache Indian beard. I could barely grow it, bro. It's embarrassing. For a Hispanic too, we be having them beards, baby, them, like John B. I could never do it, but it's all good. What are we talking about? We're waiting. He said, couple minutes. We're waiting. He's coming. I know he is. You know, he would not let us down. His testimony, his time in there, and what we call the truth is amazing. I mean, it spans almost 2 decades, and he has a lot of the paperwork still. He has council reports, as a former chief priest of a a whole city or state. How's it work? I forget. He'll tell you when he comes on. I'm gonna shut up and let him. He'll take the mic. I think I gotta run to the fridge real quick. Anyways, when he comes on, I'll make sure I let him talk. I wish I could change this up and have just one person. See, I don't know how to do that. Nah, I don't want to mess with this anyway. He'll be here in a jiffy. Watch. In a jiffy. Brother, you don't know? Promotion, multiple wives, and wow, yes, kids everywhere. You can't use birth control. You can't use contraception. Yeah, that's how the numbers grow as the kids, man. It ain't like there's people coming in from Mexico, or, there's a bunch of people up in Argentina or Chile. It's not that going on. It's not people coming in there, from Mexico. Like Mexicans ain't gonna be coming into this place, man. I'm sorry, man. They're not gonna be coming into the Icgjc by by the hundreds and shit. You're gonna have two Mexicans in the whole goddamn church, even though you can't find it in the Bible. Yo, their whole thing is um what is it? Issachar is a strong ass, right? Which is a donkey, and they use the donkey. Oh snap! They use the donkey. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, that shit was imported like from Spain in the 1700s, though I believe that wasn't like that's not an indigenous animal to Mexico. The burro. Go ahead and look that up, and then it says he crouching down between two burdens, and I've heard different things about what that means. Um, the whole 13, the whole second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40 to 47. I like to go to 47. They want to stop at 46. Verse 47, 46, and just all those verses. You can read the KJV version of the Apocrypha. You could read the Good News translation. They translated the Apocrypha too, and it's pretty clear that they didn't cross over a big body of water. That they crossed actually over a stream. It says, which is a river. It was kind of like what happened with the Red Sea. They were able to cross, through dry land. That's what it was. But today, till this day, you got people that don't even, follow the ICGJC. They don't follow. They think Arya is the devil. They thought Arya was dead too for a moment there. Um, they still follow what Arya has put out there, which is actually a falsehood. Is that 12 tribe sign? Give me a minute. Let me just do something real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all still there? Y'all still there? We still waiting on the guest. Did he come on? Is he on yet? No? Damn, I thought he would. Well, I'm glad he didn't come on while I was gone, but he'll be here. Watch. We ain't going nowhere. I'll be here until he shows up, and we're going to get all the stuff out of him. Keep him here for an hour and a half, maybe. Let's see. As long as he wants to talk. I'll talk forever. The good news is that it's not real. Our Suez is argued to be Romania, but there's old maps showing it around East Russia. The route is written clearly. Yeah, if you want to go, yeah, I'm glad y'all woke up too. But yeah, if y'all want to go by these the scriptures and then some of the maps, Arsareth, Ararat, there's a lot of similar sounding lands that they'll sound like Arsareth. They'll start with R, or they'll have that somewhere in the word. Um, it seems like when you go into the history of like the Scythians and the people that settled around like the Black Sea, I believe it was, or the Caspian Sea, somewhere around like Uzbekistan or something like that. They'll find people that had similar like what you call it, cultures or traditions like the Hebrew Israelites had. and they were suspected, even in some of these books, that you know, these people did not leave the area. But here we go. We are gonna add somebody that we've been waiting on. I think he's here right now. He is here right now. Oh,
Miguel, what's going on, brother?
going on? What is going on, man? All right.
What
Here.
am what did I miss so far?
Oh man, I've just been talking a lot of caca. Just trying to keep it going because I promised 8 p.m. So I was like, well, let me keep it at 8 p.m. even though I came on like at 8:15.
You gotta excuse me. It's Minnesota. It's getting cold up here. I had to get me something hot to drink up in me real quick.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. So we got people, and we got 20 people, good amount of people right now. Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I had to delete the original premiere that we had set up, and like that probably threw some people off, and like I had to create a whole new one. So people could still find us, and this will be saved on San Miguel TV, and I know this is going to be a great live here.
Oh,
Uh,
we're here now. We're here now live. We're not going anywhere. So we're here.
yes, sir. Let me turn this off. I just wanted to get some applause. I had the applause effect ready for you. um, but yeah, all right, man. So here we are, man. Long time coming. Go ahead and just tell us about who you are, man.
I'm formerly Chief Priest Gabar Awar, Warrior of Light, from Minneapolis division or branch, whatever you want to call, of the Icgjc. I don't really go by that craziness no more. It's like a Hebronics nickname, pretty much. Some people, still will call you Gabar and all that, but I go back by my English name, Jari again. So,
And
but yeah, I'm a 18-year veteran of the Minneapolis ICGJC, and it
then-
just came out in, what was that, 2019 somewhere? Yeah, 2019.
wow, 18 years. Look at that.
I
So
know.
you got a lot to say.
Man, I do. But like I said, I'm gonna let you peel away.
Yeah. I didn't. I should have wrote down some of the stuff that I've been taking notes because listen, me and you've been having these conversations. There's a lot to cover. Let me see if I could. Well, no, we'll leave it at that. Um, yeah. So, what year did you come in?
What was it 2001? Yeah, it came in February 2001. Got hoodwinked in there. You know how a lot of brothers come in there. You come in there through word of mouth or someone else. So my child's mother is the one that hit me to the place back in 2001. So I came in through there, got hood. What was I think 2001. I was fresh 21 coming up in there. Yep, that was 2001.
Okay. Yeah. Similar to me. I was 20. I was 20.
But
2000.
that's what we discussed. A lot of us, that's how you get caught up in there. You pretty much get caught up in there at young ages most of the time. Most of that time when you young in life, you searching for answers, and that trying to find yourself and all that. That's when a lot of these different cults and different groups like that end up getting us, when that mind is still really developing and is really looking for a lot of information and knowledge. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think what happens to people around that time is that they're trying to find, who they're gonna be, and trying to, discover life, and there's a lot of ambition, and you got a lot of energy, and it's like you ready to go and just tackle life, and you don't know. Sometimes you might not know which way to go. I knew that. I mean, I felt like I didn't know what to do in my life. Like I was like, this came along, and I was like, yeah, this sounds right.
yeah, see, well, that's the other part. See, you also, a lot of us, we come in from our different walks. Like I said, a lot of us, this group preys on young minority men.
Right.
A lot of us are coming from different walks, from the streets and different angles of that too. So a lot of us looked at it. When I came in there and looked at it as it was something that was changing my life around. You know, a lot of us come from different negative backgrounds at times. So we looked at this as a positive. Is they were, you know, brothers, we ain't supposed to be out here in the streets doing this. So we kind of seen this as, damn, this is the reason why Black and Hispanics act this way towards each other. So it seemed like coming in young and you not really having much experience, this place had some answers for you.
Yeah, yeah, it did. That was appealing. So I guess that, you know, that was part of the appeal for you when you first heard it. Like, what was some of those things you liked? You know, that caught your attention, caught your ear. What
Well,
was?
the false interpretation of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. That one got me right away. They broke that one down. And the false interpretation of that. Jesus Christ being Black. See, that one wasn't like super new. I mean, that's they act like they were the beacon of Jesus Christ was a man of color, you know, according to, you know, different historical points that people bring out. But that's been something that's been going on throughout the grapevine. They just damn amplified the message, so to speak. So of course that one, you know, gave you a little bit of self pride and esteem. It was a few different points that got you caught up in that doctrine. A few different points.
You've heard that Jesus Christ was Black. You've heard this out there.
I mean, those, yeah, that's stuff that was you didn't come face to face with the ICJC. I mean, you've had many people say our people built the pyramids and we are the original people. We're God's chosen people. So I mean, that's stuff that's been spoken.
Yeah, there's a lot of that
I,
circulating.
I would say as far as it dang just coming out, them showing you multiple different false interpretations of color verses and all that stuff. Yeah, they were the first ones to do that from what I see. And now that you go back into it, you know, I know you have your different beliefs and views on the Bible. So I'm gonna put my disclaimer out there. Just come as I'm coming on the San Miguel show, which we've already discussed behind the scenes. I don't share the same biblical views that he has. Um, but as you really start searching and looking at these different points that we were going over as far as the color of Christ and these different things that they were bringing out. You know, it was nothing new that has not been heard before. They just gave you different false interpretations of different color scriptures. So it seemed impressive at the time.
Yeah, yeah. I remember Eddie Griffin had like some stand up, and he was like, "What if Jesus Christ was? You know, he had to be Black. Who else is gonna turn water to wine at a wedding? Something like that. You know, like I remember things like that. I would listen to like Wu Tang, you know, Rock Him, and you know, you always heard it in just out and about, you know, hip hop or whatever comedy it would come out, or just even like I believe Malcolm X had said that the tribes of Israel were Black. I forgot how he worded it, but so I guess what were you before? Did you consider yourself, or did you consider yourself like some type of religious person, or were you raised in the church before this?
I mean, you somewhat religious. I mean, of course, majority of us claim to be some type of Christian, or you believed in, you know, different forms of Christianity. So I mean, my parents pretty much raised me dang Baptist, pretty much. But I mean, they weren't heavy church going people. I probably went when I was little or something like that. So you had those few concepts of the Bible that were up in you. So when you came into ICJC, when I came in, it was still being called the ICUPK when I first was coming in. 2001, they hadn't changed the name over yet until right after the 9/11. Right after 9/11, shortly after that, that's when they changed over to the Israelite. And that's funny, we was just talking about this too. The
Right.
Israelite Church of God and Jesus Christ a little bit after 9/11. The reason why we got told they changed the name in Minnesota was because they said we didn't want to be mistaken for Muslims at the time because, you know, the whole terrorist propaganda and all that type of stuff. Then, you know, Tazdaki put another spin on the doctrine later when he came with the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah. That was weird because I mean I still have show this real quick. I have a flyer that shows is backwards, y'all, but Let me see if I could just do this real quick. It's that,
Let me dang make sure I was listening to something. Hold on real quick, brother. I want to make sure I don't have this dang dude squealing in the background. I was listening to something right before I dang called you up. So
yeah. I still have some stuff that I kept. That was a flyer that uh, was I think it was made by well, I forgot, a brother up in New York. Um, I forget the dude that drew that Jesus Christ with the afro. I forget his name, but I think he was the one that set up the church. And this flyer had numbers that would constantly these phone numbers would be disconnected because the church wasn't paying bills on time, and people would call. We would see people that we already handed out flyers to, and they'd be like, "Oh, I tried to call, and the number was disconnected." Uh,
yeah, we had that same thing going on in Minnesota. Constant phone disconnections, eviction notices on the door, and all that stuff. This stuff the congregation didn't even see. Like I always got to the church early to dang take off the eviction notice off the door. But
right.
that's a little bit later on down the line. I'll get into that later. We can go into that in a whole nother question segment right there, the mismanagement of finances and all that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we wasn't new to the disconnected phone numbers, having to use our own phone numbers, Google lines, and all that stuff.
Like it was a big it was any care for those things. Like it was like just whatever, they got it done whenever they could. And then but when it came to the money coming in, it was like you get phone calls at 3 in the morning, councils with multiple people, at on the phone at whatever, any given time, or you could get put out, and they'll keep the record of what you owe, also, so that way they know, how much people are behind. Like you got to pay this no matter what, even if you missed it. Yeah, you could go to the picnics. Sometimes they after a while they said, because they have these three picnics every summer, family day picnic. At first you couldn't go if you didn't pay, but then they started letting people go, but they'll write down, okay, now you owe 60 for you, sixty
Oh
dollars
yeah,
per
you were on the national debt payment plan.
national debt. Exactly. But you,
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. All that. I mean, we have all that stuff here, all these records and all this stuff. I mean, you're talking about thousands of dollars that was coming in weekly, but
right,
there was always a crisis and urgency for money and all that. But you got brothers that could not understand that we was being shook down for the money.
right,
I
right.
mean, at this point, I almost, you see, it took me a while to come on the show. You was pulling my teeth for a while up on this one
Yeah,
because the place is almost so irrelevant. It's almost not worth talking about. But at the same time, some of us, we spent decades of our lives up in this place. So, I mean, we have the right to talk about it anytime. Like we some of the reverse psychology the brothers like to put out there, like we really think about this place all day every day and can't let it go. I mean, it was a time and place in our lives that of course we're going to talk about because we realized the place was a damn sham. So we can
yeah,
have gripes and complaints. That's just realistic.
yeah. Some people leave, and it takes time. Some people literally don't know what to do, and become, they kind of like mess up their lives afterwards. They feel destroyed. They don't recover. Some people commit suicide even while in there. Uh,
Yeah. Well, see, when by the time I came up out of there, like as I said, I was just you were totally aware to the damn everything, the whole hoax and all that. And most people before they leave, they checked out of that place mentally before they even physically leave. I mean, you're just
yeah,
looking at all the uh discrepancies and things, the false prophecies, the lack of even just seeing this place is not about everything that they say they're doing. I mean, you talking about this is the most righteous place on earth. How is it the councils are lined up from damn 10:30 at night till damn 7 in the morning with all types of issues and problems and just negativity that's going on where you even looking at as a head of a congregation like what the hell are people doing? Are people even listening to what's being taught up in here? When you actually was seeing some of the cases that was going up to the councils on them Tuesday nights.
When you came in, there was a failed prophecy that just that had just happened, or I guess it didn't happen. And the year, which is the year 2000 prophecy
Right.
of Christ returning. So you came right after that,
Yep.
and
I came in what, February of 2001. Now that I think about it.
how many
So
people see around? What was it like the numbers in
Minnesota, Minnesota was just got started in, I want to say what was that, 2000. You had former brother up here, shout out to Kanapi Olive. He ends up catching wind of this show. He'll
uh,
end up, he brought that thing up here to Minnesota in 2000, I think it was. It was 2000.
where,
Y'all,
where
for
he
those that don't know Kanapiala, the Rankin brothers, they'll know. That was the brother. He had a very unique
voice?
dress code. That was
Uh,
before the damn Jesuit priest garments and all that got introduced, the red and whites and all that type stuff. So he had a very unique dress code. Y'all remember the brother with the dang serious gladiator Israelite dang garb style. He
he
brought truth up about 2000, I believe.
he always had a meat. He always wore like a Mitri.
Man,
Money.
he has some of everything. Yeah, I got some pictures and all that. So I ain't break out the pictures. Like I said, this ain't something that we'll be able to cover in just one show. There's so much that you can go back into with damn pictures and all types of history and all
The
that. So
public access,
take our time with this.
the public access networks and TV all around. I believe he was doing those. I think.
Yeah, he had a couple of the wore some meat trees and all that a couple times, but he like I said, he had a different style, brother. So
Yeah,
as soon as Ty's homed in on that with the damn, like I said, Rosicrucian garment change,
right.
that's he stamped all that stuff out because the brother represented that old school vibration that he wanted to stomp out to separate us from them rebel groups.
Yeah, because in the
If,
90s there
well,
was
quote unquote rebel groups.
yeah, because in the 90s there was no actual dress code to where everybody kind of the ranking garments where everybody looked the
Right.
same. Depending on your rank. Back then it was just whatever you could wear any garment that you like, whatever color, whatever style. And but they were big on the public access TV shows and channels. They would I wonder now. I try to think back, because I used to always jump on them channels in New York City, and I wonder if I ever came across and just kept clicking. But that was big in the 90s, and I
Yeah,
know
I
that brother.
did a couple shows with him up on them a little MT and we had a little local one up here called MT, and yeah, I did a couple shows with him on the public access stuff. A couple of them might still be on YouTube somewhere.
Right, right. So then you come in and see. I was brought in by a family member, and I guess that might help keep you in or pull you in, and have you kind of you know I guess because you have somebody around that's gonna learn with you, that kind of helps you grow in there, as opposed to people that just hear something off the street and come in and don't know anybody. um did that you think that made some type of impact because you came in with somebody else, right? The mother of your kids, I think you said.
Uh,
Locked
I
in.
couldn't really say that because,
Okay.
like I said, that place, like I said, that's. I mean, there's so many different points that doctrine will just damn hook you in on. That really wasn't it because I really just came in there, like I said, most of us really was not into church and stuff like that. So I just came in on a fluke, dropping off, my child's mother. She was checking them out online and looking at their literature and all that stuff. And she just wanted me to drop her off. So I really was just dropping her off and stopping in and checking it out real quick. And that's when the brother started going into his message, and I was like, all right, this does sound a little bit different from your mainstream churches, and started going that way. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's really necessarily what kept me going up in there. I give you the major thing, that really kept me up in there. But I'll let you ask a couple more questions
Well,
first,
did they
because
have?
I do want to go back to that 2000 thing that you was just speaking on.
Yeah. So you found out about that eventually? How did you find out about that
I
false?
didn't find about the year 2000 failed prophecy until, shoot, man, I want to say closer to a little bit, almost more so a year in, be a year into that place, because it was crazy when me and my child's mother first came in. It was probably about myself, brother Kanapiala. There's another brother in there named Habamath, and he had his family in there. There's probably maybe about 6 or 7 people when I came into Minnesota the first round. When I first came in and we were being introduced to the church, and then another brother named Dabar Ya'ala. This is a brother, and this brother that was the tripped out part. This brother was attending the church, and he was just finding about it. Of course, like we said, the word, as we say, real zealous for the church. Another word, aka fanatical for the church.
Right.
Lost
Right.
his mind up in the place real quick. So he was going back and forth with he was typical behavior. He's introduced to the place. His family's not feeling. They
Right.
giving him a real hard time about this place because he got a newborn daughter, and he didn't know how to balance the cult life with his trying to get his family in the place. But make a long story short, the brother ended up snapping, lost his mind, went up to what's one of the IDS building. It's pretty much the tallest building in downtown Minneapolis. This was a story that made the news. The brother ended up going to the 50th floor of this building, grabbed a chair, threw it through a window, and jumped out the window because he did not know how to balance what the church was telling him and what his family was telling him. Is, look, you have to leave that place. If not, like his mother's the his baby mother was telling him, either you have to choose the place or us. It's one of the two. And he
Wow.
didn't know how to handle it, end up killing himself. So yeah, that was fresh 2001. And that was where the brainwashing began, right there, where it's like, brother, you see, the brother wasn't quite strong enough and all that, and didn't have everything together, and he couldn't handle this truth. And now the Most High has made the decision, brother. You've come in at the right time. And me being young and dumb as hell, think, damn, maybe this is meant to be and all that. So from there, that's when I really started attending class. That was probably about 4 months of us attending classes. And I ended up, the brother purchased a plane ticket to go to the Passover that year. And I think it was March or April. So I ended up just taking his plane ticket and going. And that's when I kind of ended up seeing, okay, this is bigger than this little damn chicken coop nut place here in Minnesota with 5, 6, 7 people. So we're the chosen. So when I went to New York and got the New York experience, I did see like, all right, this does seem bigger than what I thought it was. It does seem like kind of somewhat of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's another story that's not out. I mean, so that we could call this the tales from the dark side of the Icgjc. There's so much hidden information, covered up stories, and all that most of us that was in higher ranks was able to see. As I told some brothers, once you get to certain positions and ranks in that place, you see what's going on up in there. Yeah, they did a serious dang mind job on us where
Hmm.
you really was intimidated to speak up. But a lot of us in there seen enough. The people that's still in there right now, them chief priests and bishops and high ranking dudes that's up in there, they seen what's going on in them little fake meetings we used to have and all that stuff. They seen the corruption and all that type stuff. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of cover up stories that it just takes for us to come up out of the place, recollect on it, and people gonna be shocked.
Yeah. Some people. I mean, cults are complex. Because look at how just we willingly go in there. We willingly do all these things, and it's like you know um we don't want to be victimized. We want to hide all the negative things that happen in the church. We don't want to tell our family members, like, that we are broke or whatever. Or, like I always thought it was a little embarrassing. It was a little awkward telling these new fruits that I would bring in, these potential members, for those that don't know. They'll come into class for the first time, and I'll have to tell them, like, oh, they're going to pat you down, by the way. They're going to search you, and then security. And then I don't tell them immediately that a man can have more than one wife. I don't tell them about the 20% of ties. There's things that it's like we try to hide, and we know subconsciously there's something wrong here, but we still try to, like, deceptively recruit. It's like deceptive recruiting. It's what it's called. But also when things do happen, like somebody just mentioned, Time Mexico, who's in New York. He said one of his friends up in there committed suicide a few years ago. That made a little article just like that. Not nobody knows. I forget what it's called, Religion Unplugged or something like that. And I think they even questioned Ivan and Noel. I believe they questioned these two brothers, and they spoke out about it. And it's like it doesn't become like a viral news story, because I don't think that also the fact that the church is quiet. They don't give information. They're not going to be open to talking to the news. And it's very complex, the things that happen in there. But we didn't go through no Jim Jones, Heaven's Gate type stuff. But it's still psychologically the damage that happens. It's like it's not so easy to point to, and or quantify, and show people, look, this is what happened, because people are just going through stuff even till this day after leaving years later, man. It's like this thing is hard to kick.
Right. Well, no, back rewinding one point, just like we were saying, stuff you didn't want to tell new fruit you're bringing in there. Because I'll just rewind it too. Just going back into still coming in there.
Right.
So that's 2001. All that goes down with the brother. Um, the bar y'all, I go to the Passover. We get a little bit more indoctrination then, but we do see some things that we just seen was off at the Passover, which was once again your red flags. And
Yeah.
they changed kind of some of that stuff, but I mean it still continues. But that really is here nor there.
Yeah.
Once we see things at that Passover, took a little hiatus for a second, ended up coming back like right before 9/11. So remember, this is all pre-comforter doctrine era right here. We're just learning about the tribes, that we're the Israelites, and that basic doctrine. As a matter of fact, when I came in, they were still even teaching that Mary, like I said, was impregnated by Joseph when I came in. So that's how old the doctrine was, and how much reformation it actually went through when I came in. But like I said, when you come in there, you're young and you don't know much.
Mhm.
That's another part of the tactics of that cult is, I mean, they get people that's untrained in the Bible. Unlearned is when a lot of verses, because you've seen that, like when we go out and we're dealing with the Christians out there, a lot of people don't really read their Bible like that. So we would slap people with verses that they were nowhere expecting, and that's how we catch people off guard. They'd be looking like, I know you're misinterpreting that verse, but I can't refute it because I've never seen that verse before. So it's kind of like a shock as we was hitting people with our verse. So it's the same thing with me as I was coming in and hearing the doctrine. I'm not well versed in the Bible, so you're not going to have a lot of questions because you're just listening to the interpretation of what I call the throw your mind in a blender doctrine, which is the precept upon precept. Which,
Yeah.
like, so we can cover that one another time too. Just show you that whole interpretation of what they gave us, precept upon precept. That's not what's talking about, taking your mind and taking it all over the Bible with pre-inserted thoughts and questions that they're asking.
Yeah, yeah, just connecting scriptures that might have the same word and connecting it when it's like not even really talking about the same thing. At that time when you came in, who were the main teachers since Tazadakia didn't take over yet as the comforter, the holy God sent comforters, quote unquote? Who was like Arya Shar and who else?
Yeah, you had Arya Shar Kazakh or Yeshaya in Kazakh was the main four. That was the chief high priest at that time.
Right.
Yep, they hadn't set up the order of the 12 yet at that time. That was once again we're talking about 2001, so they were still under those four elders. You're coming fresh off of I guess the split that happened in what was that 95, 96. Then you had another what is it 2000 came. You had some dissension. So I'm coming behind all that, and all that information is pretty much being covered up as well too.
Around the time, from what I understand, Yahana, I believe, was put out. There's different stories about how he left or whatever. But I think Recall War. I've spoken to him, and he's a reliable source from Philly that said, what's his name, Yahana, who was the head of the ISUPK, which is ISUPK 2.0. It's not the original. He was
Right.
there. I believe he was there somewhere by 2000, 2001. And then Raka, who created GOCC, believe he was also there. So there were people leaving shortly after. And I have a cousin who's in the IUIC now who was also there and left in '01. So people were kind of, that probably had to do with the failed prophecy. They'll stay a little while. And then over time, they're just like, I got to get the hell up out of here. Uh,
Right.
Probably was what prompted, uh, that whole Tazadakia takeover was we need to do something here and revamp. Did you feel like they started to revamping? Like, I mean, especially with the virgin birth doctrine, like that's pretty big, man. So,
See,
you
well, as they were rechanging everything, like I said, all pretty much the virgin birth doctrine. What else? What else did they change when I came in?
right,
That was the biggest change was that what we had to adjust to. And then once again, you're coming in unlearned. So it's kind of like, all right, I heard that, but that's not really what I'm focused on like that. So when they came back and said, no, what? The spirit did impregnate Mary, that was like, okay. That was just like a okay thing. It wasn't like, what? It wasn't, oh, well, if that was wrong, how do we know this isn't wrong? It
right.
didn't hit that way because we were so unlearned at the time.
It doesn't seem to affect a lot of other things too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, it's just like what Ivan had just put. The doctrine, it took its most serious. You could really start to see constant changes in 2002 is when you start noticing. 2002, that was a pivotal year for me too. So as we get there, that'll be more interesting too. So you got 9/11 happens, and
right.
that's a big one right there because that's part of the BHI, as I tell you, Black Hebrew Israelite propaganda.
Yeah, they were
They
all,
they
all
have to use calamities and different events after it happens. They give you no prophecy about it about to happen or anywhere in the near future. But as soon as it happens, now they're experts on it, and they have 100 million scriptures that they can go to showing you about these prophecies that now happen. So
yeah.
9/11, they got off on 9/11 big time. So
Like
they was using that one big. See, now is the time for us to be in the truth. See, people gonna be running up in here now because you see what's going on. This is the I forgot what they was using, but they had all types of scriptures they was going to on 9/11.
right, right. 9
So
11.
9/11 comes, so that's that. Yeah, this is the right place to be type of thought process. So at that point, I'm starting to start trying to tell people about it, and I'm feeling a little bit versed in some of this doctrine a little bit, even though you still know what the hell you're talking about, but you start to get that confidence in there a little bit. So 9/11 happens. Still going through the motions up in the place. That was what? Yeah, September 9/11. Going through the motions. 2002 comes. Like I said, when I first came up into the place, like I said, I was still walking. For those that don't know, I'm the brother that was rolling around up in the Icgjc, one of the main heads that was in the wheelchair. I came in the place originally walking in the place. 2002 came, went to wrong place, wrong time, doing the wrong stuff, ended up getting shot. And that's when the life changed to a whole nother level then. So you wake up in the hospital, you just get indoctrinated with this new doomsday religion that's constantly teaching, brother, be right or God is going to jack you up and all that. So when this event happens, that's another time where they taking full advantage, and not saying that they're taking advantage in the wrong way. I'm speaking of my the local brothers up here, because they was just as indoctrinated with the nonsense as I was. So I don't look at the brothers that was originally teaching in Minnesota and blame them, because they victims of the same cult that we was. But they're thinking they're pouring the right energy into you now as you damn messed up in hospital bed. See, brother, I told you can't be playing with this truth, man. The Most High will get you and all that. Now you got to figure out where you want to be at with God and all that. So you're thinking to yourself like, dang, you know what? This is not a bad decision that you made that had this happen to you. You're really thinking that God had a direct beef with you, and that's why this situation happened. So that's weighing in on your mind, and now they're going to use that to pull you in even more.
Oh yeah! Wow. Yeah.
That was March 2002. So it took me a little minute to heal up till about at least a good 7 months to heal up from that injury. So then I started coming back in the church then. So that would have been more, I want to say closer like, fall of 2002. So at that point, now I'm all in. I'm like, to hell with it. This is what I got to do. As they also tell me, brother, you're also in the right place, because this is where the healing power is going to come. That's a whole nother thing. I think I sent you the clips on that one. Notice that's something that the Icgjc don't even talk about no more, is people being healed and the power and all that type of stuff. But that was the other spill that was being put out there, brother. You're going to be healed soon, but you know what you got to do now.
I believe they threw that at the end or during the breakdowns DVD about the testimonies of healing. I believe it was that DVD, one of the breakdowns.
Which one was
There,
it?
there was a brother that had
It
fibromyalgia.
was one of them. No, it wasn't breakdowns. That was another nonsense DVD. The daytime stood still. They had that dang clock that they said stopped at 3:00 for over a period of time for the hour of prayer and all that, so the members could be healed and all that. That one. And the brother said he seen that clock sitting up in the damn near in the trash heap in the corner of the church. That brother's memorializing that clock and enclaving it in some crystal and all types of stuff. I'm exaggerating, because they watch this, they'll use that and say the brother's exaggerating. See, the comforter never said that. The point is, he's memorializing this clock and all that, and that was never seen.
Yeah, because he said some of y'all don't see the clock up there no more. Y'all think, he's like, don't worry, brother. He's like, that clock has been touched by the hand of God.
Exactly, that one.
And up, with all the trash and broken chairs probably up in the damn top floor. What up, Neggy Springfield?
Yeah, brother said. Yeah, brother said he's seen that in the corner of Peter's Hall in headquarters, collecting dust somewhere.
The daytime stood still, but maybe the clock broke. I mean, that's exactly what happened.
See, those are the DVDs they don't want you to play no more, but we got all those. Like I said, at the end of this, remember, I got to put out my disclaimer / advertisement. I got over, I'll say about 200 to 300 good titles. Any members of Icgjc, they are for sale after we finish this project. I'll slang them to any member of the Icgjc for $400 even. I did the math on it. Those things was going for what, like $20 a DVD or $25?
Right,
That's
right.
a $4,000 package that you're getting for $400 for those that just want to stay up in there. They're for sale. My number is the same. You can still contact me on that too. Privately, I won't rat you out to your local chief priest either.
Yeah, that's,
Well,
hey,
go ahead.
I'll make some money back. I mean, that's what I did with a certain.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
2002, that happens. About 7 months later, you start uh coming back. It was it hard? Was it a lot of trouble for you to get around and get to whatever they had you doing? And did you didn't have any rank or anything at that?
No rank. That was the other part then. Yeah. No one had any rank at that time except for the two heads that was there. And I think they were like captains and like an officer or something like that at the time. So
Okay.
that was the only rank that was there. So by the time I came back around 2002, it was still they were still building the church at that time. Meaning we had we well, it's the same spot and location they in right now. So it was that spot and location over there over north. Um it was just a few new brothers up in there. It wasn't really as far as like a ranking structure. It was just a few new brothers up in there, kind of the next wave that made its way up in there. 2002, going on 2002. Yeah, for
Yeah,
that
had a
2002 was just me recovering and kind of just coming back in, getting re-indoctrinated.
and yeah, but yeah, I had an actual location, like a building.
Yeah.
Okay. And were there any like ranking brothers or whatever that was sent from somewhere else over to y'all at that time? Or did
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, we
outside?
definitely that was back before you had to go and get permission to actually get up and go out of your own location. As before you had to go and ask another grown man for permission to travel to another state or city. You had that where you could go back and forth more so freely. So
Oh,
we had a couple brothers that was traveling back and forth. That's when LA still had a school. LA still had a church. So we had a couple brothers that came up from LA that stopped through. They weren't commissioned over the church. See, at this time, Tazadakia had not taken full. New York itself did not have full control over all the churches like that. They were all Icgjc affiliates,
right.
but they didn't have the iron fist on them yet. So we had brothers from Oklahoma City coming up, teaching some craziness. Brothers from LA coming up, teaching some more craziness. We never really had no one from New York come up. The closest we had from New York come up was Abanazar, which was another one of the heads. You might have remembered Abanazar back in the day. I think he was in Detroit.
Yeah, I think I always for some reason remember Ohio, but it could be Detroit.
Yeah, Ohio wasn't up and running back then. Yeah, when I first came in, there was no Ohio back then.
What's the closest other church like that was part of ICGJC closest to where you?
If you can call it a church, that would have been Omaha. That I've been to. The reason why I have to say that I've been to Omaha. Omaha did not have nothing going on in Omaha.
Oh,
That was a little damn 2 to 10 member church in Omaha. The brother that's running that right now, and I'm sure he's still running that, doing the bang up job that he's doing. Omaha wasn't never really up to nothing, but that was been the closest church. Then Oklahoma City, probably.
all right. When around that time, did Tazadaki start coming
And
to?
that's not a diss to, well, it is a diss to Omaha, but like I said, it's just like people need to wake up. Like I said, as I look at all the controversy that's been coming up around the ICJC, it's just like I just don't see how people take it so seriously now. Like to me, it's a therapeutic laughing point right now, just going into this stuff now, as we done taken time to rebuild and go on with our lives. It's really
Oh,
just for it's for two purposes. This putting out another disclaimer. It's really for those that's on the fence. You see, there's all types of stuff going wrong in that place. It's really just that warning. Like, if you really want to waste the rest of your life up in that place and be like some of them old dudes that we done seen up in there bragging, "Yeah, I've been in here since 1979 and all that," and the place ain't went nowhere. If you want to be one of them old dudes up in there, like there's some type of honor up in there, that's where you belong. Period. But it's also for those that might dang not know what this place is about and you are curious. It's just giving you the review before you waste your time up in there. There's no point up in there. But go ahead, sir.
So from '02 now '03 comes along. From what I've seen, since I came in '04, I remember seeing '03, maybe like there were probably other main teachers doing DVDs, right? There were DVDs being done at that time, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember Tzapuan had one called "The Reason Why I Think Why Christ Came in the Flesh" or something like that. Uh,
Yeah, that damn DVD. Yeah, that thing had no substance to it whatsoever. I remember that DVD. Yeah.
I remember that DVD.
It's almost like you could understand after seeing a DVD like that, you could almost understand why Taz stopped letting other people do DVDs. But
It was a little.
I digress on that one. I remember that.
Saint Ivan was there at the front row with his braids. I remember with the cornrows and his. I think he had like a blue garment or something, blue and gold. I remember that DVD pretty good. I remember almost everything that was. At least like not everything. I just remember it was different from what I was seeing later on. Because okay, I came in '04. Now Tazadaki is getting his control over the church, his grip, and really nobody else could teach nothing. But Arya had one too called Real Black History. That was out in I mean
Yeah.
0203. I'm just trying to remember because I'm clicking with brothers that's been years and now we're chilling.
I'm gonna say it again. That's why I almost sided with Taz and almost understood why he stopped letting other people put out DVDs because that was another one where I was like, this thing is horrible right here. That one, yeah, the real Black history and all that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was just. I could see why he had to take control and kind of spearhead the teaching because he's like, no, if I let these other dudes put out what they gonna put out, they ain't gonna mess up what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, I bought a book based off that DVD called Early Spanish Illumination, which showed only one photo of a dark skinned Jesus. Everything was like that. Everything else it was showing like,
Yeah,
you
a
know,
brother up here in Minnesota brought that book and didn't know what he was looking at and couldn't explain nothing in that book either. Wasted all that money upon it too.
yeah, it was a lot of weird stuff at that time. Arya and Yeshaya were kind of on that same thing with the history, and they would confuse a lot of things like the word swarthy. They would
Yeah.
use try to teach one thing, but like once I guess like somebody said in the comment section, once that breakdown DVD came out, that felt like yo, this is, and he was like talking about himself in third person.
Mm-hmm.
And once that came out, that's to me, it felt like this is a pivotal change, a time. But before that, was Sazadakia, because he visited Orlando. He visited a brother's house. We didn't have a church in '04. It was a brother who's in the comment section, Shakur
Mm-hmm.
Gonzalez. He came to the brother's crib and did a class. Did he come to Minnesota and do a class and try to say like things are about to change? There's about to be
Uh,
you
no,
know.
there wasn't enough damn. He didn't have the incentive to come to Minnesota yet. I just put it that way. I don't. I know the reasons why he liked to travel to Florida and all that with y'all down there, but Minnesota, he wasn't hip to what type of women and all that was up here to Minnesota. So I don't think he had a real reason to come up here yet. And then the flock wasn't big enough, so
Yeah.
he didn't. He didn't never come to Minnesota until the little phony world tour, which
Oh,
put
yeah.
on a little bit of hold because that's like what was that like 2009 or 8 or something like that.
No, a world tour was '05, maybe even oh
Was it?
yeah, 05. Let me think, because it had to be. It had to be 05, 06. It was.
You might be right. You might be right up on that.
I'm thinking 05 because my cousin went on that and she was 17 and she was still in school, and it was like it was weird, like her mother was going crazy because it's like, yo, you got to be in school. You could She's still in school, and she's underage. So I remember, yeah, she was 17 in 05 and she didn't graduate, so
My
that's
bad. Let
yes.
let me rewind because you asked me, did he? Well, he never came because that's what we discussed. As we both had something in common. Us in Florida was the head of Minnesota started kind of messing up, according to New York, late 2002 ish, 2003.
Real quick, he had several world tours. My bad. He had the first one is the one that I'm talking about, where my cousin was in there, and he gathered. I remember one time he surprised the sisters and gathered all of them. He said, "This is the sisters of women of, I forget, of the daughters of Zion."
Right.
That was like the first one, but then there was another one when the whole thing with the Mormons happened. That's the one you're talking about. Oh seven.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about more so the one where he really was going to the churches, more so just saying he's traveling through states and converting people and all that stuff.
Right, right. He
So
had
it would have been his latter one.
he had one little recording, because these cats didn't go out and teach like the apostles. They're supposed to be so powerful and have the spirit. They didn't go out there and do unit work. They wasn't teaching. One time though, Tazadaki recorded this thing where he was talking to like some South Americans or something, and they barely spoke English, and they were looking at him like he was crazy. And he was like saying, "Yeah, this and this, and white Jesus, Jesus Christ is black." And they were like, "Yes, yes, yes." And then he
Yeah,
was about
yeah, they
South.
just looking at each other and laughing at each other pretty much.
that,
Yeah, I remember
that,
that one. Like, this dude is, we don't know what he's saying, but this guy is crazy, and they just
yeah,
laughing at each other.
that if I remember that clearly, that's the one around the time where he ended it in Orlando and Miami, in Florida, and he went to the Florida Mall Hotel and did the "In My Father's House" DVD.
Mm.
And Yeah, that was definitely that's from what I remember. I remember like all them brothers, like even Mar Walker Come was in that world tour thing, and everybody was hugging each other. Everybody, like they were getting dropped off. Like my cousin, we finally got to see her. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember what year that was. Somebody said '07.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. 07, 08 ish, I want to say was the year, but one of them 3 years. 06, 07, 08. One of them two. He came up and gave a little half-ass class that year. Said he was going to come back and teach the Sabbath, which he never did. They just spent all day doing whatever that Saturday. Then he came back at the end of that Saturday and gave a few counsels, and that was it. And then promised us that Minnesota would become one of the biggest churches in the Icgjc history, and that was it.
When
But
did
no,
the 20% tithes thing change? Was that How did you feel about that?
perfect. It goes right into where I was going to rewind and take you back anyway with the teachers, out of state teachers. Late 2002, the head of Minnesota starts messing up, according to them. Gets busted at an Archangel Award. And they send up Thahawam. They send up the damn tank, Thahawam. So yeah, some of y'all might remember Thahawam. He was the former high priest of states. Remember when they had that rank, the high priest of states? He used to always throw out there, I'm the high priest of states. Um, so he came up to Minnesota, and that's when really the ranking order and stuff started getting set up. That's when we started doing the little test, and we started having the ranks set up and stuff like that. So that's when we started becoming officers and no Hebrew Academy set up yet, but we had the different little tests and all that. So Thahawam came up, and a lot of brothers don't like to give him that credit. He the one that's kind of came in and set up the structure in Minnesota, because we were kind of we were just learning, but doing our own thing to it, so to speak. So New York set him up and said, "Put your foot in them brothers' asses in Minnesota and get them in line," pretty much. And that's what he did. He wasn't really tripping with us, but the two head brothers, they caught it up on him. I could tell that he was giving them the New York, dang, get y'all asses in line type stuff behind the scenes. So he set up New York with a lot, or set up Minnesota with a lot of New York stuff. That's when we started doing the prayers, the Sabbath services, and then he's the one that came up and told us, y'all supposed to be paying 20% tights. It's not 10%. So
What
it came with Tahawam, because I'm not gonna lie, the way the other brother was doing it, he was getting ready to lose the congregation. That was just the bottom line. It was getting to the point where it's getting oppressive, to the point where it's like, we're about to leave. He's about to break up the congregation. So they sent Tahawam because they seemed like we're about to lose money. This brother up there doing his own thing and people getting offended.
what year did the what was that? 03?
That was 2003.
And then how
Yeah.
long was he out there?
Say again.
How long did he stay in Minnesota?
He was up here from 2003 to 2005, late 2005.
And you know what happened after 05 when he left Minnesota? He came right down to Orlando.
Yeah, I remember that.
He
I
did
remember.
the same thing.
I remember this crammed up damn major conference. Like I said, for those that don't remember, like I
Yeah.
said, we go back to the One West 125th Street days. We go back to them two crammed up hot ass rooms
Yeah.
on 125th Street, listening to what we thought was the most amazing doctrine ever. But now that we peeled back some layers, you see all types of discrepancies with the doctrine. But that's a
Oh,
whole nother topic.
that's a whole nother video that we could do in the future.
Yeah.
Just doctrine alone and getting that. I want to analyze this whole live that this cat did with Vocab Malone. These three brothers. But yeah. It's just the way you're describing what was happening, the changes.
And rest in peace to Taiwan, by the way. That was my dude too. That was a good brother.
Yeah.
He was lost in the sauce, but he was definitely, it's hard because that some of these brothers is sincere, but at some point it's like, brother, we got hoodwinked. You got to snap up out of it. And fortunately for him, he did snap up out of it before he had his situation that occurred with him.
Yeah, I liked I mean, I don't know how I felt at the time being around. I felt like this is crazy. He came in there and it was like he shook things up. But I look back and I think about everybody that was over the congregation different times, and I think he was probably my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
For and there's different people that I liked Raj one too, but other than that, I never really liked Isaiah Nathan like that. I never really liked. Uh,
I
uh,
didn't never get a chance to know Isaac done like that personally, so have no real
oh,
opinion.
nothing too serious. Just I felt like every time I asked him certain questions, like it was like I got kind of like played. Like it was like, nah, brother. Like it's like I'm just asking the question. But Rashwan was different. Taha one was way different. But like you describing what was going on, these changes that was happening along with the 20% tithe, the doctrines were changing. Taha one was old school, and it was hard for him to keep up with all the changes too that was happening because a lot of the teachings that we were getting in '05 when he left Minnesota, he came to Orlando and did the same thing. He set up the Hebrew Academy and pretty much like put us in order. And but he did it in a certain way where it was like, I don't know, man. It just came through kind of like somebody that we respected, and I was kind of like, the first class was crazy. He was just all over the place. There was no real topic. It was just like he was trying to show us that he knew a lot of different scriptures. Like it was like trying to impress us. And over the years, I started realizing that he didn't really like Tazadakia. Like he didn't really feel like convinced. He just felt like he had to go with the motions because this is just where he was at. Like he made his bed in the Icgjc, and he was just going along with the changes. And he would always be confused. He's like, "Where am I at? Minnesota?" He's like, "I came from the coldest place in the states over to, like the hottest place." And he always be confused. He'd be like, "Where am I at?"
See
before
what
before he went to Minnesota, I believe he was saying he was in South Carolina, North Carolina, or something.
Yeah, he was just in North Carolina before he came up to Minnesota. He was dealing with Wilmington and all that.
When he left, how many now? Did you have a rank? You had a rank now.
Yeah, when he left, me and another brother that was up in there got bumped up to captains at that time, and then you had Canapiala was, I think, a general at that time. Did they
Now,
make him a general? I think they bumped him up to bishop there. Yeah, they bumped him up to a bishop there.
yeah,
Cause yeah,
Philly. No,
they bumped. Go ahead.
yeah, to Saint Ivan, he's from Philly. What I'm saying is that they were throwing him around to different churches and different locations to set up. So before he set up Minnesota, just to give you a little timeline of Tahawam, I believe he set up South Carolina or North Carolina, I forget which one, and then Minnesota, then Orlando, and then Orlando. After he came out here for a few months, that high priest of states rank got taken away, and there was nobody ever got that rank again. That rank was just taken away. Nobody had that rank because it seemed like you have power over every church now, and Tyler
Yeah,
didn't have that.
they still had a fake high priest of state's rank, but it just didn't hold the same weight it did when Thahawam had the rank.
Did they
They
have?
they they had another. They started just giving that to a chief priest. They made Rakai War a high priest of states for a second, and then I think it went to another brother from Philly, Nathaniel or something like that. He became the high priest of states. The rank didn't mean nothing. It was just a title that got put with another rank. But it was never implemented like when Taha Wan was doing it, where he said he was, yeah, exactly. Marco Allah, he, as a matter of fact, he got that rank after Taha Wan,
Oh,
the high priest state. So they just passed around, but it never really had no rank. I mean, they never did anything. Just like this fake rank Taz tried to come up with called the ambassador to the kingdom that he gave to one of the boys to men. Where it was supposed to be like, if you need to get big celebrities together to get in the truth, that's what the ambassador of the kingdom was supposed to. That rank lasts for like 3 weeks.
what a joke.
Yeah. All types of made up stuff. That's what we just gotta get into. That's why I keep on saying, like, to be in there at this point now, just seeing all the nonsense that is not coming to pass. Like, time is working against these dudes now. Like, it's not, it's no longer just wait, just wait. Time is working against you. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, all types of failed prophecies, but that we gotta write that down just for another topic,
and
because
there's people that
that's a whole nother talking point
because the
for
people
hours.
around now, some of these people don't know the history.
That's true.
And
Most people that's in Minnesota don't know a damn thing. I'll just tell you flat out. They don't know a damn thing. If you came in there pretty much after like 2006, you don't know a damn thing. It behooved me seeing people come in there like in the latter years, as you just kind of seen the place falling from the glory years it used to be
yeah,
in. The Icgjc was strong from when we came in that 2004 and rolling until about 2000. I'll say they had a strong, solid membership. About 2,000 people are better until about 2013-14. Because I used to stand at attendance when we do Passovers and have to do the attendance of people coming in. So you got a chance to see the numbers. That's why when Taj told me they was 5,000 strong on that courthouse thing, like, brother, you a damn lie. There, y'all are nowhere close. Our numbers have not been over like 2,200 since like the year 2014. That is just facts. There's too many witnesses that's coming out. That's why that interview that Bays and them did, nothing against them brothers other than that they lying like hell, is that they're just in delusion, just be sitting to save face lying to all them people like that. They know their numbers are nowhere close to where they was in the late 90s into the early 2000s.
yeah.
Impossible,
There-
because too many people have been put out or left for your numbers to even be there.
There's people in the live chat in the comments, of course. Saint Ivan, Shakur Gonzalez would have probably a better uh, memory or better idea of how many people were in the city of Orlando, let's say in 2010, when I don't know, I can't, I'll guess like maybe I'm guessing like 60, but I don't know, I may be off, but this is counting the children and everything. And then Miami had about, I guess, the same. It was a good amount of members when, especially when you count it by state. And
Right.
when the major council, we used to have to go up every month, the first Sunday of the month. I believe that came down when they were still in One West and Tahawam. Yeah, Tahawam was over. I think it started when Tahawam was had came down to Orlando, and we pretty much would take like 18 passenger vans out there in like '05, '06, and then they got 1941 Madison Avenue back, and they would have like every church like report, I guess. I don't know if they would do the numbers though. I don't think that they would tell you how many members were in there, but they try to give you an idea, like that there was some growth. You know.
Yeah, the little major conferences, we had that crazy order where you could never disclose your church's numbers. Well, like I said, Minnesota, I was going to say at our largest peak when I was up in there, we probably had about 130 something members, men, women, and children included. That's probably about our largest that we got to. About 130 something members, men, women, and children.
Yeah. When
And
you
of course,
have,
the majority of the congregations is made up of the majority is women and children. That was a lie where people used to act like this is a man's religion and the brothers outnumber the women. Please, them latter years, the women was really the financial backbone of the church, and then the children.
yeah, and there was a lot of like so-called what they call the citizens that would come in. They would sit on the side, and they didn't have the ranking uniform. They didn't. We would try to constantly get them to join the Hebrew Academy. There were brothers that would constantly on the Sabbath, and like faithfully. I forget the brother's name is Steve. No, I forget. Yeah, I think his name was Steve. It was a brother that would bring his kids, and he had the questions that he'll get cut. Like, brother, why are you asking that? Like he'll ask these questions like that, and he never became a ranking member. He never wanted to join the academy, but he would come around, and it would be like consistently for a while there. Um, but yeah, then you had that. It's like, how faithful are these members?
Right.
Not just visit once or twice. They'll throw that down on the numbers, like, oh, we see we hit this many people, and it's like some of these people.
Yeah.
There was a lot of members, fruits, potential members, first timers. They'll come in once, and then they'll never come back, and they won't respond to my calls anymore either.
Yeah, I never put people like that on the we never put people like that as far as members. You had to come for, was it the 90-day rule or something like that. And then one time we got told they're not members until they start paying tights. That's what we got straight up told one time. Like when they start paying tights, then they're members.
Right, right. When you became a captain, right? Now you could teach classes, right?
Yeah.
And when did you remember your first class? Like when you had to teach it, you putting it together and all that. You remember that?
Yeah. The split of the tribes from Solomon in the split of the northern and southern kingdom. That
Uh-huh.
used to be one of my favorite topics in the cult was the 12 tribes breakdown in that whole damn understanding. And the more you go into it, the more like that's why I put the disclaimer. Like I said, I know you got your views. As I was saying, as you start doing a lot of research on the scriptures, you just see how erroneous what we was teaching is. Like I said, at this point
Yeah,
now, when it comes to the belief system, like I still fully believe in the Bible and the scriptures, but it's more so I understand based on what I'm reading how much man does not understand this stuff and how much most of this is lost in translation. The 12 tribe sign, I mean, you can just forget it. That is one of the most erroneous breakdowns of the
yeah.
21st century.
See,
It's just a hoax. I mean, it's nothing more and nothing less than a damn hoax on damn paper that the church
yeah.
put together.
Ari, you see, even though I have my opinions, my different beliefs, I can still look at the Bible and say, well, according to what this says, the Hebrew Israelites or the ICGJC, this is completely crazy backwards, and I could see. I could agree with you on okay, you believe this according to the Bible, and I agree. I'm like, okay, yeah, according to the Bible, if you believe in the Bible and you believe this, that's actually accurate, or some type, probable or whatever. These go into these breakdowns. And that's a whole nother thing because I mean, I brought up DVDs earlier and how there were other people that used to other ranking apostles or whatever that used to actually make DVDs, and
Right.
this was a way of keeping members in there. The ranking structure, the unit leaders, the tattling system, the spying system. There was a lot of things implemented later on, well, around the time when you got your rank pretty much, and when Dahawam came to Orlando and we started the Hebrew Academy, then I got my rank. There was like a high, I forgot, there was a major council or something where everybody was raised up. And brother, I was crying when they gave me Captain 13,000. There were people all lined up in front of the apostles in 1941. And I was literally crying, bro. I was shedding tears because I thought, damn, I'm getting this rank. This
Yeah.
know what year, oh 06, oh 07. Um, but there was a lot of things like going on in every different city, every different church. That's why I like listening to what you went through. But I never got to the point where you got to. You became a chief priest now over the years. When did you get that rank? What year was that?
2012, the infamous 2012.
Well, what was
Yep.
going on between all that? Because we don't want to skip nothing. We kind of talked about '05 with Dahawam. Hebrew
Yeah.
set up. Now you have a Hebrew Academy set up. Now you probably were teaching the Hebrew Academy, right? Sundays.
Yeah, of course. That's when the prison sentence began. Then again, it was cool getting rank and all that at first, and then you start to realize like this shit is bondage. This is not damn that you're not really like I said, it's a fake ranking system anyway. So I mean, you're just being put under a pyramid scheme to just keep control of subordinates up under you. But yeah, we got called up into what's called the Hebrew Academy. That's something else right there. That's we already talked about. That's a whole nother talking point right there. I might want to get in on that one too, the Hebrew Academy. But I'm gonna just put this out there. Him and Noel, they would be damn disgusted at what the Hebrew Academy got turned into. Because I heard them talking how they put a lot of the curriculum and all that together. The latter Hebrew Academy, excuse me, the new Hebrew Academy, because that's what they called it later, was the new Hebrew Academy. They would be disgusted at what the curriculum got turned into because it was just a total parakeet session of Tazadakia's rhetoric at that point. It no longer went into how to defend against our false interpretation of John 3:16 or the color scriptures and all that. It went into totally like this is what the comforter is taught. This is what's been revealed to cover. I can pull up the notes on the stuff now. People would be looking like this is brainwashing madness one on one right here.
Right,
The
right.
new Hebrew Academy.
The new Hebrew Academy.
Yep.
In the Hebrew,
Yep.
it was definitely a class about John 3:16 and the Bible breakdown. The Bible
Yeah.
breakdown. It was definitely break the John 3:16 breakdown. The color scriptures, the God being Jesus Christ being Yahweh's breakdown.
All that.
Bible
All that. A lot of that got mixed out with Tazadakia says breakdown.
that was
And it
a
was just like the men are, it just, you could just see how it also started what he started doing started dumbing us down compared to the other groups. You start seeing the other groups, the rise of the other groups, and
Mhm.
you're starting to see their little soldiers and all that. They sharper in scriptures and a lot of context and history and all that than we were, because what we is being taught just started dumbing us down. Like I said, it went from really trying to go into the Bible and find out what it's talking about to Tazadakia says.
Somebody said short bus Israelite. Listen,
It literally.
at the head of academics in Orlando, there was a lot, and the work. These were the hardest classes: the Hebrew and the English. Oh my God. No, everybody hated those classes. The Hebrew Academy had 5 different classes, I believe. It was the Bible breakdown, everybody's favorite, the Bible breakdown.
Yeah.
Then you got the history class, which is, my favorite. Then you had the English. The Hebrew, that's 4. And what's the fifth one? English, Hebrew. There was a fifth one, I believe. I mean, we used to have to do the march that went on for an hour, and then the martial arts training or the military. We had all of that, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the first 2 hours was we were out in the heat, marching and doing push-ups. And during this time, brothers had to be doing the lions den on the side. Anybody that was subject to lions den, this is the time when they got pushed to the side and said, "Okay, we're gonna do the martial arts training. Anybody got lions den, get over here, stand to the side." In the heat,
Yeah.
and then that's the beginning of the day on Sundays at 9 a.m. I believe, and then we start the rest of the all 4 other classes or whatever. Brothers stinking, white mark, that sweat all over their all black. It was a lot of craziness, man. I saw
Yeah.
suffering.
Them literally was them type of days, literally. But
Was
yeah, the new Hebrew Academy, the Hebrew Academy, whichever the thing you wanted to call the damn thing.
hmm?
The Atahwan didn't personally set that up. That came like right after he left. And then you had a kind of our next wave of brothers that kind of came in under that new Hebrew Academy.
What
Because
year?
that's funny you mentioned that. That's why I was just looking for the
Like
paperwork on the stuff. Is the new Hebrew Academy,
it was like
and it's different. And it's different questions. But I'll pull that up later because I'm looking at this right now. Like this stuff is just, it's insane. But no, go with you had something else you was on. I don't want to lose your train of thought.
the new Hebrew Academy started about when?
2005. That was right after the Awam left. 2005.
The new Hebrew Academy.
Oh, the new Hebrew Academy. That I think that came out like right around 2012 too.
Okay, I wasn't there for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. 2012, 2013. The new Hebrew Academy came. It became mandatory because you're talking about citizens and all that. By
Yeah,
that time, any man that came into the church had to join the ranking structure within 30 days or go up to council in New York. So that was the next form of oppression. Like you come into the church and you're being immediately thrown into the new Hebrew Academy within 30 days.
yeah.
So that means automatically now you're required to pay your tithes, your priest funds, grab your different garments, high holy days, all the above. And you just walked into a building and just wanted to learn about Christ and the Israelites. And now you're being thrown into a whole new life-changing structure.
What before because that's we skipped ahead a lot with the new
Yeah.
Academy. In between all of that, I can think of a lot of things going on from the creation of the comforter.info to the Mormons clip that went viral. There was a lot of things going on. I'm gonna step. I gotta hit the bathroom real quick. I want you to go ahead and talk more about why, what, how are you feeling? Were you getting very zealous? Were there things that helped you feel like this is something I'm being, I'm glad to be a part of? And then from there on, I guess we could get to red flags, things that made you want to feel like kind of embarrassed or made you want to leave. I want you to cover stuff for a little while because I gotta step out. I'm less than a minute, bro. But
Oh, I'm not sure.
you know,
I can hold. I
people
can definitely handle it.
and people are listening, and I'll be able to still hear you, but I got to step to the side for a minute before I explode. but
That's cool. Or even anyone that's live online, they can ask any questions too.
yeah,
As online, I'm seeing what y'all posting up, so I can
yeah,
respond and ask any questions. But
yeah.
as what someone was saying, yeah, you were my latter years. You was required from about 2014 on up. You was required to join immediately upon coming into the ranks. So
All right, well, you can
that
keep
was the
talking. I'll be
biggest part. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and handle it. But yeah, you was well. I'm gonna rewind it. I'm gonna rewind back on what Miguel was asked. That 2005, 2006. Some of y'all remember that the false prophecies kept on coming with each year now meant something because y'all remember that. What was it? 2003 it came around, and that's when he began to separate us from the different rebel groups. This is what I was talking with Miguel on a more private line. We was talking about just the setup of what you noticed of what he was doing. 2000. 3 came, that's when you see and he started trying to separate us from these different Israelite groups that was out here. It was like Burger King versus McDonald's. He wanted to wipe out the competition because he knew what he was getting ready to implement right after that. In 2003, we're the only Israelite group out here. Everyone else is rebels and antichrist. The year right after that, you notice that's when he comes with the whole comforter doctrine. I'm the comforter. I'm the one exclusively that God is dealing with. Nobody else, right? To get us caught up into that. So it was all strategically set up because he knew a lot of people was not going to be feeling this damn demigod doctrine he was coming out with. That I'm pretty much dang the incarnate of the Holy Spirit in the flesh. He knew a lot of people wasn't going to be feeling that. So he curved us off with that false these other groups are rebels and antichrist. If you join them, you're going to hell. And then the next year, I'm the comforter and I'm the only one teaching the truth because he knew people wasn't going to be feeling that whole doctrine. And then the full setup of the apostolic succession. So it was just all a climax for him to gain that full control and authority. And once he gave it about a good 2-year run of that comforter stuff, and he seen he kind of went unchallenged, that's when we noticed right around was that 2000, I'd say around 2007, 8, that's when we noticed drastic changes of stuff just getting darker and darker. Like you could be sitting in the class, he look at you, this brother got the devil on him, get out of the church. Stuff like that, where we was just in total fear at that point of, damn, you can't challenge nothing this dude's doing. He can tell when you got Satan up on you. Yeah. And hell, you might just been tired from damn pulling the 18-hour shift or something like that. But because you was nodding off in class, now you have the devil up in you. So we was seeing all these different changes with him from I'd say about 2006 2008. You see now he's like, I got full control now and I can pretty much do what I want. Now he's busting other men that was supposed to be apostles next to him. That was strategic too, that no one paid attention to. Like, how do we start out with what was it, like 7 when they first set that order of the 12, not the order that happened in 2012. But you know what I'm talking when we had like Nawak, yeah, Kakam, Ra'albon, and all of them was listed as apostles. There's about 7 or 8 of them at one time. Yeah. And then you notice he started strategically busting each one.
The Shia, yep. They bounce.
Yeah, that was well, see, that's when they originally had 12 at first. Right around 2003-ish or something like that. Yep. You had 12. You had Banazar, Yeshai, and then was a part of it. I think Zionalo, that was a brother from LA. He bounced. So you had a lot of them just they wasn't with it from the jump.
You saw even at the Timothy Stansbury march or protest, Banazar was out there preaching. So yeah. Now this was my time coming in. I saw him from one day to the next or whatever. It was just he was just gone. So there was all these changes made, and then all of a sudden now you stopped hearing about the apostolic succession. That kind of went away.
If you pay attention to the DVD 1969, a lot the one they took out of circulation, this is supposed to be the grand damn bombshell DVD of DVDs. How is it taken out of circulation? But that being said, pay attention to that DVD 1969. When you look at Abanazar, he's in that class. He's not feeling that DVD. You can look at his face, his body language, and all that, and he's just looking at Tazadaki like, this nigga is really pulling this out of his ass right now. And he's not feeling the DVD. You can literally see it. He left shortly after that. So you could see the dissension with some of the older old school brothers. They just wasn't having it. They was like, this new Jack is not. I see what he's trying to do, and I'm not having it.
Yeah, Yeshaya wasn't gonna be having that. Yohanan wasn't gonna be having that. There was brothers like Shabar, who they probably destroyed that brother's spirit, because he was up there. He was there with at the Jerry Springer show. Shabar, I believe, was there.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a lot of old school brothers that believed in the cause for what it was. They saw the changes and didn't quite understand it because it's just like when I came in there. all the shenanigans and stuff that's going on to this day up in that place, it's like that's not what you signed up for. Any brothers that know that came in that place in the early 90s, the early 2000s, where it's went to now, you know that's damn well not what you signed up for. None of this stuff that they're doing right now is where they're supposed to be at in prophecy, according to where we came in. And you just lying to yourself. You being in total delusion. Like the brother was, the dude said, we have to make this not be the truth so we're not condemned. I mean, we don't have to make it anything. It simply is not the truth, is all it is. They have to make that place the truth so they don't come to the realization of, damn, we've wasted the past 20, 30 years of our lives. We're getting ready to waste another generation and raise our kids in this madness. And that it's not going nowhere. Just like this brother said, the church has had exponential growth. All those kids you saw in 2008, they're all grown now. Negro, that's not growth. That's your kids got old. That's all that is,
Not
which
all
is more madness that Tazadakia taught. That's what Tazadakia said about the Muslims. He said that mocking the Muslims during a class. All that happened with the Nation of Islam was they all had a bunch of kids and they're grown now. That's all that's happened with the Icgjc. And then half those kids are leaving. They get older and saying, we ain't got time for this madness no more. We out.
And it's all very similar type stuff. It's all very similar when you listen to how they talk, how they teach, what they're talking about, the us versus them mentality, the hatred of the white man and the government, the fear of, like everything out there is dangerous. And this is your safe haven. This is your safe place. And then on top of that, when like things do happen to you, like what happened to you, they use stuff like that. Because I went through surgery too. As soon as I got put out, something happened to me where I had to have surgery. My leg got busted up, and they was telling people up in the church, like, look what happened to look what happened to War Makapash. There was a brother that his whole family, like they were driving up to the Passover. I believe they got into a car accident, and the brother and his whole family, I think, died or something in a car accident.
Yeah. Yeah, that was coming from he was coming from one of, not New York, but it was one of them other little cities, Atlantic City, or it might have
Baltimore.
been Atlantic City or border, one of them cities in New Jersey. He was coming from a Passover, unfortunately. Yeah, brother
It
fell
was
asleep behind the wheel.
There was a sister name, I think her name was Patrice or something. And she was a big overweight sister. She had asthma. She had issues, man, coming in there. Now
Mhm.
she left, and then some years later she passed away because she was way overweight. And then they were saying that was because she left. They were using that like to scare. They use death to scare people. Tazadaki used to say it's gonna be like Final Destination if you leave.
Yep. Yeah.
You got
Yeah, because when he taught that what is the sentence of death class, that was pretty we thought it was ironic because he taught this sentence of death class, and then you had the former bishop or high priest of Oklahoma City die like the next night, but not knowing that there was already wind that this dude was having some health problems. And actually, from what I'm getting at, some people actually put it out there, this dude already knew that was coming, and he actually just came with this class to teach them and put that fear in the congregation, just like when you had the sister. And that was a DVD when the sister had passed away in New York, and they had the big funeral, and they gave her that grand send off and all that stuff. And the dude already knew that the sister was sick, and then
Barshaba.
exactly, and tried to put it out there like it was prophecy. It's like, brother, you already knew this woman was sick.
I believe that was at the was that on the What's the Word DVD? I believe. But he was like, brother, what I gave you instructions to make garments for what? Specifically for what? For the apostles. For what, brother? Oh, for
Yeah,
funeral. He wouldn't
yeah,
he didn't
that DVD.
He was like, for a funeral, brother. He was trying to get at the fact that it was a funeral. The brother was like, the garments for the apostles. For what,
Yeah,
brother? For the apostles, brother. For what, brother? For a funeral. Funeral. Oh, we're going to have a funeral. We're not going to be upset. and this and that. And it's like it came out that it was actually knowledge that she was sick, right? And it
Right.
happened, and she died 7 months later. So seven, oh, completion.
Yeah.
Try to make it seem like it was prophecy, and it's like, why couldn't he give? He can't give a date. He can't give the person. He can't. Well, he knew who we knew who he was talking
Well,
about.
no, it's like what some brother said, that after the fact prophets. Like this is stuff is always after the fact.
Uh huh. Always. You can't. They can't give specific when he gets real detailed, right? He put his foot in his mouth with the I went to Israel and I got the Holy Spirit in Israel. All right. Now we can verify there's things that now are going to be connected to that. Now there should be a passport, there should be stamps, there should be evidence. You should have a passport. There's a lot of things that now are going to be tied to that you can refute it. Now, people can make claims that are called unfalsifiable claims that you can't prove that it's wrong, but they can't
Right.
prove that it's true. It's just him saying it. Just the same
Right.
denies and everybody in there, like Basil, it's just hearsay. The sister Nisha, it's just a word of mouth and hearsay. Okay, but shit, that sometimes that's they don't even acknowledge that or respect that enough to research it. Like when they
Right.
claims of rape, you don't just say, "Oh yeah, every woman said they got raped." No, man, you you go and research it, and yeah, there's some false claims of rape, but you have to respect the claim enough to research it and see where the evidence leads. Sometimes it might not be evidence for it, and it might be true, and sometimes it might be false. You know?
Well, brother, when an image has been put out there that you are now this mystical figure and that you now are hallowed by God, you are beyond sin. Ain't no one gonna be trying to hear no allegations. I mean, there's a full doctrine of defense that these crafty damn Negroes done carved out to shield themselves from any type of logic. I mean, what you just saying, anything that we heard against them, what's the first thing that's gonna come to your mouth? Well, bring out a railing accusation against an elder and all that. And that has nothing to do with this Negro sitting in this chicken coop in Harlem, New York. That was for those people during that time. Like that's the other strange part about the Black Hebrew Israelite doctrine is people act like there was not an actual listening audience that these people were talking to at that time when they were speaking these words and all that. How did we time warp from 2,000 years ago and we go 2 millennium up and now everything in there is talking about us? That is a point of delusional insanity that I still have a hard time figuring out. Like, damn, how the hell did I get caught up in that?
Yeah.
Let me rewind. I keep on telling people this. I got shot. I don't know what someone's issue is where they really allow their mind to go down that deep of a rabbit hole. But like I said, everyone has issues. Everyone has their issues because, like I said, it's different background traumas and things that can make you join a cult like that. Like I said, I highly doubt I would have spent that much time in there under that delusion had I not been a young 21-year-old man and I dealt with that traumatic of event, and you're being told, brother, this happened to you because you defied God in this. But now you just got to do this and you'll be healed again. At 21 years old, you're listening to doctors telling you, brother, it's a wrap, brother. This is kind of what you're going to deal with.
Yeah.
What is most people going to take their chances with? They're going to be like, no, what? I guess this is it. But eventually, you got to come out of the delusion and say, listen, this is just your life and the way that things is now. And this little cult religion is not going to reverse that. You're going to have to deal with it now. You're mature enough to deal with the circumstance that happened to you 20 something years ago. But this cult ain't it. This thing is not leading you nowhere. And these dudes is lying. I'm gonna still rewind back a couple points that we had missed in because from when Thahawam left to me going through the motions. I got raised up to like a captain in like 2005. I made it to general in like 2006, a five shield general. And then we just went through the motions, building the church, new people coming in, some people leaving, some people staying, false prophecies going out, year 2007, year of completion. 2006, we get told Pope Ratzinger, he's a Nazi. He's going to start World War III. That never happened. He
Oh,
retired out of that prophecy.
real
How do
quick,
you
brother.
retire out of a
Real
prophecy?
quick. Remember the tsunami? That was big for me. The
How,
tsunami happened, and then they
that's
brought.
not no pro. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they called that a prophecy, but that was such a weak prophecy. See, Asia. How do you, I mean, any religious scholar knows when it says woe unto the Asia, you're supposed to know that's not on Asia as far as Far East Orientals and all that. That's on Asia Minor, which is around, what is that, Turkey and all that area right there. That ain't got nothing to do where that flood, that tsunami took. And you remember they actually had that on DVD where you had a woman, well, that was probably a lie, but you had where they said a woman got mad at one of the apostles because he was teaching on the tsunami, and he started laughing about it. He said a woman rose up like, if you knew about it, why didn't you tell the people, or something like that?
It
And it's like,
wasn't.
because he
It
didn't
wasn't
know about the
anything
prophet. He didn't know because there
yeah,
was no prophecy on
it wasn't promoted beforehand. It
it.
wasn't
Exactly.
after that they would now go to the scripture. But what that did to me, because I'm in there and listening to them, and they're bringing the Bible like to life. And it says, it doesn't just say Asia too. It says Egypt, woe thou Egypt, and this and that, and Asia. It was said at the end, the
Yeah.
water rises, and this
And
and that.
because we're unlearned and didn't do no research, you're thinking it's, I mean, we got hoodwinked. That's all that was.
It's a current event. Now I see the event happening recently, and they're like kind of. I felt like they were pointing to it, just like how I felt with Deuteronomy 28:68.
Mhm.
Things like that. Like I felt like they brought the Bible to life and they made it current. And I think that's what Tazadakia did with being called the Comforter. He put himself in the Bible and kind of brings the Bible to like life in everyday.
The reading rainbow effect. Like I said, you put yourself in the book to bring it to life. I mean, but you don't read any other book or manual that way, where you read it and now automatically you insert yourself in every last position. And that's just not even logical right there. But fast forward, and we jump up, false prophecies going out. 20, let's just jump up because there wasn't much going on in between my time from Thahawam leaving to me coming up into the chief priesthood and all that stuff. I dealt with any typical stuff that brothers went through in the truth. Damn nonsense councils, major conference, paying tithes, damn lead going out to camps, unit work, seminars, all the stuff we did, just chasing our damn running in circles. Busy work
Real,
is what we did.
real quick, when the Comforter.info came out and then Michael Jackson died, that became a thing that we all kind of had to acknowledge. Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
the Mormon clip, there was like things coming up individually, like in our respective cities, there was a bunch of crazy stuff, councils and things. But yeah, like I think me and you can both, corroborate things that was like being spoken about. Like Michael Jackson, don't speak evil, don't speak no good, or don't even talk about Michael Jackson's death. That was
Yeah.
weird to me.
Yeah,
Um,
that was weird as hell, but that was one. What else?
because the around that time the Antichrist unit was developed by Saint Ivan. Actually, he's the one that put it together, and he threw.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk. And I used to watch, and me with some brothers on a laptop, we used to watch KOC Marksman talk about all this stuff that's weird. And
Good point. Good point.
um, they, he- dude, the dude went out to Miami and did a whole promotion, a whole promo video for Black Icon Entertainment, where he's popping bottles, he's all dancing with girls, he's all up in girls' ears. It looks mad worldly, and it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of shameful at that time. But I think what was a hard hit for me, not just you could talk about whatever that came before this, because there's things that is gonna have there's things that's gonna be like red flags for everybody. But the
Right.
doll was like what 2012. That
2013. That was
that
2013.
that for me was like, whoa, what the? They already had posters that they would sell at the Passover of Arya and Tazadakia and all this stuff. that. What are we gonna do with those posters? Put it up, like it's gonna be more. It's gonna be way more special than how I had my room when I was a teenager with Big Pun or Mob Deep.
Right.
It's like those are my rappers. These guys are holy.
But see, you was out of the place when you got wind of the doll, right?
Yeah, I was out. I was a believer, mentally in there, physically out.
Pretty much the worst position to be in. To be mentally stuck in that place, but you can't be up in there. That's like the worst limbo twilight zone frame of mind to be in.
Like
Like I
Luke
said, by
Warren.
the time I was out of there, I mean, I still had some indoctrination, but I didn't have the fear of the. I knew that the Icgjc was false, but some of the overall BHI doctrine, I
Yeah.
still had up in me and had to kind of weed out of my system over these past few years, which has just come from research and study, and you just see how much of that stuff is just off. But as good you mentioned that on KOC, Rebel Alliance, and all that, because that was the first people that started kind of chipping away at certain things that we was doing that we just could not see. And it took a lot of courage back then because they was just going off common sense and not even having a lot of dirt at that time up on the place. They just seemed like, man, why does the comforter need a concordance? Like, which is a logical question, a
Yes.
total logical question.
I love.
And this is stuff that was going over our heads because they didn't really have a, a high standing in the church, so to speak. I think they was like low officers and all that. They just had some time in there. So you had them, what they came out with. The doll, that was something else where I was kind of looking like, man, what the hell? But we have to rewind. The biggest one that hit hard, and a lot of brothers felt that in the ranks, and they just didn't want to say nothing, and they still don't want to say nothing, is 2012. When 2012 came, and we was told that was the year. I mean, we already got lied to on the year of completion, the year of glory, the year of dang sanctity, the year of riches, the year of everything Israel. We already got all this stuff, all these fake years. 2012 comes, the year of the Israelites.
Year
And
this.
brother, there was tumbleweeds rolling through the ICGJCs in 2012.
Well,
Wasn't no one coming in like that in 2012. I
just
mean, it was
just to hype it up. Before that, there was already a little hype with the Mayan calendar, all of that.
exactly. Yeah, the Mayans, they seen something in 2012 too. I ain't gonna say what it is because you don't know what it is, but they saw something. And it's like, brother, 2012 came and went. That's
Order.
why we should have played, what's his name? The brother Need to Be Free. Because
Oh,
I used to watch, even though I am brothers, see, he was always being rebellious. That's why he's out the truth now. That's what they'll be saying. Because I used to watch all the different opposition to the church. If you had something to say against us, what military general leader whatever does not look at what the opposition is doing? Who gets told bury your head in the sand? North Korea is building bombs over there, get ready to bomb us. Act like you don't see it's happening, it's just going to go away. That wasn't even logic. That was something that used to burn me up, was that neutered, watered down thing he used to have us in. When people were speaking against us, there was no rebuttal like that. Antichrist, they tried to do their thing, but they had their damn arms tied behind their back because I'm sure they were censored on how much they could go into and really come at these other groups before they'd end up in council themselves. But that was something that used to get me too, was I just used to see a lot of the discrepancies that people used to point out, and we wouldn't be saying nothing.
yeah.
2012, that came. The brothers pointing that out to us, saying 2012 is going to come and go. And a lot of y'all still just going to be sitting up in there. And I'll be damned if people wasn't still just sitting in there after 2012 came and went. And this dude had the audacity to blame the nation, the ranks mainly,
Yeah.
for why the other tribes didn't come in. He said the ranks were not ready for the tribes to come in yet. If
Awful.
you're the comforter, isn't it your job to get us ready for them to come in?
Yeah. It's
And
awful.
then we got told, well, it won't be 2012, it'll be 2020, it'll be 2013. That prophecy is 10 years late, buddy. I mean, anyone that can't see that, say, hold on, that dude said that 10 years ago. The prophecy is 10 years off. I mean, What part of it? It's a verse in Deuteronomy 18. They'll say I'm getting rusty now because I can't pull the verse off like a damn off the hip. But it's in Deuteronomy 18, I believe, where it tells you if a prophet speaks a word and the prophecy come not to pass, you have no reason to fear that prophet. What part of the Bible are people not listening to? If he says something, it doesn't happen. Your God tells you you don't have to fear that dude no more.
Go ahead.
Don't listen to him. He's not been sent.
Somebody,
These people, now the Bible is not even the Bible in the ICGJC.
the
It's
Bible,
just crazy.
Bible is now become whatever Tazadakia says now.
Exactly.
And divorce, hold on. Your wife doesn't believe that the comforter, Tazadaki is the comforter, but she still believes in everything else. Guess what, brother? That's spiritual fornication. And because Jesus Christ said you could divorce somebody, say, you can't say for fornication.
Exactly.
They went to the Apocrypha, I forget, in Ecclesiasticus, I believe, or Wisdom of Solomon, where it talks about spiritual fornication. And
Right.
they take that spiritual fornication, which is you don't believe, I guess, spiritually in some, the Holy, because they already, that's the thing, they make you think that he's the Holy Spirit.
Exactly.
Power dynamic now is like, holy shit, like this guy is the guy, and you don't believe in this guy? Oh yeah, but I still believe that I'm an Israelite, and I believe in the 12 tribe, and I believe the virgin birth. I believe everything. I just have a problem with Tazadakia. Well, guess what, brother? Divorce that woman. You know why?
Exactly.
Woman or that man is gonna pull her or him out also eventually, and you can't have that.
Well,
That's
well, no, you can divorce them because they're no longer Israelite. They're not in the truth no more. They're a heathen.
yeah.
So look, why are you unequally? They'll give you a million dang different out of context scriptures up on this. Like where I said the precept upon precept doctrine is one of the most damaging doctrines ever because I mean it's for one, a precept does not mean one another scripture. The precept, the word means command, is what it means. That scripture you quote, through thy precepts I get understanding. Who all you have to do is go into the context. Who is quoting that scripture? That's King David quoting that scripture. The commandment tells you a king had to have a written copy of God's law in his possession whenever he sits on the throne. So what is David saying through thy precepts I get understanding? The book of commands I have to personally keep to govern the nation. That's where I get understand. They ain't got nothing to do with go from one scripture to another scripture to another scripture. How do you prove that? You can go to the book of Tobit. And in Tobit, when he's talking to his son, he says, remember the precept that thy father gave you, talking to his son. Now, was Tobit giving scriptures or was he giving actual commands? His father had laced him up with a bunch of different commands that he was supposed to be getting before he went and got this wife. So these brothers just took a wrong scripture and informed a whole doctrine that all these black Hebrew Israelite camps do to confuse people and throw your mind in a blender out of context of the scriptures. I can see how someone coming out of one of these different camps now studying that stuff, like, man, I don't believe none of this stuff no more because what they is teaching is complete nonsense.
Some people don't deal with it head on. They just like want to out of sight, out of mind, and that could work temporarily, But I feel like with me, because I have all this family in there, that it's always gonna come up, and just the way that my brain works, I have to deal with it myself because my brain is not gonna allow me to just forget about this. So I went through shit individually, and like little by little. First, okay, we know first thing I knew. Oh, Tazadakia is a goddamn demon. He ain't no comforter. The comforter, what it's talking about clearly to me was Tazadakia was Jesus Christ, and then the Holy Spirit, which was released really where you see in Acts chapter 2, the tongues. That seemed like, okay, that's the common doctrine out there. It makes sense. I keep saying Tazadakia. Jesus Christ. You see how fucked that shit has us? We keep thinking, equate the Holy Spirit with Tazadakia now.
Right.
Comforter with Tazadakia. Oh, but it says that he shall send you another comforter. So who was the first comforter? And then they go to Isaiah 40, comfort ye my people. Oh, because the word comfort is
Brother,
there.
you can't even use that. That is such a weak
But the
doctrine.
word comfort is there, so now they connect that
I know,
precept
but
right
you
here.
can, you can only trap a ICGJC member with that type of understanding. No one else is going to hear that. There's another verse on that. I don't have it now. I'll say that for another time. Where I'll just say that for another time. But that doctrine is just, I mean, that's just laughable.
See,
There's almost
there
no
was
point into that anymore at this day and age. Like, if you really believe that this dude was the Holy Spirit incarnate, that was supposed to show you all things to come. Like I said, Basil, like I said, karate kicked himself in the mouth when he said, yes, I believe that the year 2020 was the God sent comforter spoke that as a prophecy. He said, yes, I believe that's a prophecy. How do you not see in the year, if the God gave you all these visions, how do you not see in the year 2020, if the world is going to catch hell, how did you not see you was going to catch hell in that year? If God gave you all this vision, you didn't see that you were going to be leaving and departing in 2020 and preparing the congregation for that. That doesn't make sense to me right there. You can see all prophecies, but you didn't see that God was going to take you out in 2020. And I'm gonna say this too. They'll probably use this in a recording or something against me. Taz really never did anything personal to me where I can really say that dude was just the devil and he didn't deal with me right and all that. Not in no counsel sense. As far as the overall deception, yeah. I didn't really have any damn ties demon moments or encounters one-on-one. There was times where you're going, brother, get a little bit snappy and all that type stuff. But it was just the overall deception that got me where it's like, man, enough is enough of this.
By
Like
2019, you were like, I'm done.
29, well, really, like I said, it's always before that, but you know what it is. A lot of people just hang on. You don't want a damn trip right before the finish line. So you're kind of looking at it, but your logic is kicking in. Like that radio show he did, and he literally said, I must present the passport and all that, and there's no passport that's presented. It's like, all right, where is the proof that this man has really went to where he said he's went to?
Batazal Allah from Orlando said that he tried to say afterwards of his reasoning for not bringing that passport out was that, oh, they disrespected me, I don't have to bring it out, but it's available, it will be available to anybody inside the ICGJC that wants to ask for that evidence. If you want to ask for that evidence, you could come to council,
So you can be thrown out.
and then now this is a good way of picking out the people that have some type of doubt. So hold
So
on.
you can be thrown
Um,
out.
yeah,
You had people that got put out because they wanted to know what happened to the passport being put out. I mean, we've
yeah,
already went there
and
where that was a setup right there.
they got
There's no immunity in the ICGJC. I don't know how people even fall for that. Everything was a calculated setup.
mm-hmm.
But the passport, the 2012, that was the first one where it's just like, what's really going on here? I mean, the people are not coming in the way we're supposed to. We're supposed to be on top. You then from there, like I said, the passport, that was another big,
He
like,
was
hold on, man. This dude is not presenting stuff. The Haiti, let's not forget Haiti too. Again, there will be an Israelite Church of God and Jesus Christ built in Haiti. That dang went and, oh, well, there's other powerful governments that's come in and stepped up to help Haiti. Weren't we supposed to be building the church there? But the brother said something too. I can't forget that point because they put the New York, the cathedral from the ground up, like what we talked about too.
yeah.
The dude said the cathedral from the ground on up, and any chief priests, apostles, and all that dang sitting here in this, they would know that this dude gave a price on it. He said that building from the ground on up would cost $144 million. That's what he told us back in 2018. $144 million for a cathedral that's the size of 5 New York City blocks. I did the math on that. Don't you know that it was Google brought one New York City block that cost them $2 billion for one New York City block. So how does he factor in that he's going to pay $144 million for 5 New York City blocks?
No, hold on, brother. Not a New York City block, a Manhattan. This is a little different.
Thank you.
Manhattan is insanely expensive, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So
That's what I'm saying.
But hold on. Now he's dead, and they're gonna go to Israel. So wait, hold on. What happened to the prophecy of the goddamn cathedral? Now it's still gonna happen. He says
it's still gonna happen though.
It's gonna happen. He said, in his mind,
he got to stuttering when he said it is going to happen. Still, he was stuttering on it, but he had to throw that out there because it's for those interviews are for the congregation. That is not for a public display of Icgjc takes on all. Whenever you see them come out, that's to save face for the congregation. That's why you hear them constantly saying things like, well, the congregation knows, because it's not for the public. It's to keep the congregation brainwashed. And they sitting there, some of them still eating that stuff up. Some people have seen it like these dudes, they've lost the crown. They've lost the gas. They do not have the same fire that we used to have when we was going out there beating the pavement in 2006, 2007, even all the way up to like 2012. The same fire is not there. IUIC has clearly taken over the Israelite movement 3 times bigger than the Icgjc ever was. And it's like these dudes, all the excuses that Tiles was making of what we couldn't do, you see them doing it. They in Africa, they in the Bahamas, they in South America. So just a matter of we need more men to do this. That was a damn lie. Let's just admit it. And the brothers that's there left now need to acknowledge and admit, man, that nigga was misusing and mismanaging the funds. That's why we couldn't get stuff done. He was never serious about building new churches. That's why the 38 new chambers of death that was supposed to be opened up by the end of 2019 never got opened up. This brother naming, new church in Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Miami, Savannah, Georgia, Atlanta. They just naming all types of churches. I'm sitting there at this last 2019 major conference of mine, just listening like, people is really eating this stuff up. We've been down this road before. We've been all this, and everyone going crazy, crazy, doing the electric shakes and all that. And nothing has been built to this day. The only thing they're going to tell you is Satan hindered it. The Hebrew Israelite religion is the only religion I know that constantly blames Satan for everything they can't get done. You're supposed to be the most power with God, and you can't even get t-shirts and jeans made because Satan hindered it. Because we're supposed to have uniforms, summer garments that people they paid for and never got. We're supposed to get all that. Remember, Satan hindered the sewing department from making the garments.
Shakur Gonzalez, listen, we were in Florida. We were the ones pushing for this thing. We were hot, man. We were sweating. Brothers' headpieces would leak the red dye into the white, and then they get cut. And then they get cut for it.
Yeah, I told you wasn't there when they set up the Sergeant of Arms, that crazy ass order, where this brother was coming around, and if you had a damn red dot on your garment, bro, this crazy Negro was bringing you to council. Rakai Gabar, I know his crazy ass is still up in there. I know that's one of them brothers where if one of them wake up, that's where you know it's over for that place. If like a brother like that leaves, because there's some brothers where it's just like, you just going nowhere. But I say that because I probably was one of them people that people seen them say like, man, that brother ain't going nowhere. So,
well, your testimony, man. I don't know if you want to close this out. It's 11:17 on my side, right? You said you wanted to go for like an hour and a half.
I was going to go for an hour and a half. We already done went almost.
I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I'm trying to bring it towards like maybe, kind of bring it towards a closure, right? Because I want to keep it on topic with your story. Your story is important.
We got to come up.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so you were there when the thing was falling apart. I came on this radio blog, whatever crap, and put a bunch of stuff about 2016 that was the reason why this dude came out and made that radio show. And he was like, I want Miguel. Where's Miguel? I want Miguel. He was calling me out because I put out a lot of stuff that you could
Yeah, I
hear
remember.
him.
I'm thinking, was that? No, that wasn't a Day of Atonement where he called all y'all. That
It
was just
was a high holy day. It was a Sabbath. I know that, but I don't know.
yeah, it was a Sabbath. It was a regular Sabbath evening, and he decided to keep everyone up listening to his rhetoric that night. No, we had to be right back up at damn 7 o'clock in the morning.
I had no clue that this was going to happen. I was very busy that whole day from the morning to like the evening, just posting stuff. Listen, I was commenting and messaging everybody from Philly to Orlando to Miami to Minnesota to Portland. And I was just sending, I had just did the interview with Yahalama, the sister in Orlando that was like a sex slave. And it was like a big deal for me, and then I'm talking to Nisha. I'm hearing he got these two holy women that are underage. And then I remember him telling me when the earthquake in Haiti happened, I drove down to Miami. The damn Miami church was supposed to be this big revealing. The
Yeah.
Miami that's another thing, brother.
Wait till I play you the Miami dedication DVD.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why I had to turn it down when I first came on. I didn't want y'all to hear a bunch of squealing in the background. Like I said, I got a stockpile of DVDs that we can just. We ain't gonna waste all our
He
time doing.
told me, I mean, it's on camera, but they didn't put it out. But I asked a question out there in Miami when he pulled Ma Walker comes to his side and was like, I need you to translate in Creole. And he's like, that brother's mother was white. He was not speaking any Creole, man. He was not like it was funny as hell. And I was like, but what about Dominican Republic? Can't you go to Dominican Republic? You fly out there. You can't fly to Haiti. Okay, but can't you fly to Dominican Republic and then get to Haiti? Because he was saying we're having trouble right now getting to Haiti and helping the people out. And I was like, yo, you could get to Dominican Republic and drive to Haiti, and there's an airport in Puerto Plata. I told him. And he said, we have a church in Puerto Plata, he says. He said, we have a church in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. I was I was like, hold on, what? Everybody was like, what? He said, we have 3 locations in the Dominican Republic where there are believers at. He was trying to make it seem as if they have these churches set up. They created this fake ass, like even Barry Pugh. I believe Barry Pugh was the one that recorded him walking Little Haiti, Miami, as if he's walking through Haiti through the rubble. Like,
Hold on, hold on. Yeah, am I still there? Is my thing because my thing looks stuck.
nah, yeah, you're not showing. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
You're not sure it's black. I definitely want to talk, a little bit more about the reasons why you came out and where you at now mentally, why you chose to speak out, what are the big indicators that this place is bullshit, all of that. But I can't. Where's your image? Damn. Image. You want to come out and then come back in? I could remove you and then you come back in. I'm gonna remove you. Come back in, please. Okay, I removed the guest and guest left. Okay, it's showing that I don't like the way that looks. um, he could come back right back in. Definitely gotta start wrapping this up because I know the brother didn't want to go for that long, anyways. Says a guest left. Add a guest. There we go. All right, we adding you back on, brother. Yes. All right.
Back on. But no, like I said, yeah, because we can get ready to kind of tune it up. I just got to come back with a part 2 because, like I said, that was kind of the beginning of me waking up. Like I said, kind of came through the normal BHI experience in the Icgjc.
Right.
2012 comes, you start noticing now. Like I said, that's 2012. I got bumped up into the chief priesthood.
Right.
So at that point, you're now leading the church. Your ranks is in there now. 2012, Minneapolis was a moderate sized church. We had enough men to go and make some moves, hold camps and units, and we're established at that time. We
Right.
waiting for the 2012 prophecy to come and bust it open. 2012 comes and goes, as ain't nothing happened. 2013 comes and goes. We're told the tribes will come in then. Nothing happens.
Right.
2014 now comes, and now we're just starting to notice different orders and different things come in. That's when you're starting to the church is starting to crack down on other things. Like it's getting tighter as far as the order of the Sabbath and all that. And it got to the point where you start to see people get squeezed out. I mean, it got so oppressive where now you're being timed on the Sabbath and things of that nature. I mean, if you're too late to the Sabbath, you're being brought up to council. This was stuff that was new to Minnesota. I think other churches was probably already going through that, but Taz, during his paranoia stage, he was kind of clamping down on everything. And that's when you kind of seen the shift starting to come in, like, all right, this is definitely not the same Icgjc that we came into. Along with, like I said, the failed prophecy. I think Baltimore was supposed to get hit with a missile or something. That's when that started getting stirred up around that time, to the Baltimore missile prophecy.
The H1N1, you mean so on and so on.
Chaos, yep, the chaos agencies. All these things started coming out right around that time period. And I'm going to get to, again, the final departure. I'm going to come back on the part two. I think right now with the raids and all that, that'll be appropriate for us to come back in just a couple weeks during We Will Never Forget. Ooh. And come with something then. Because today I just wanted to come and kind of intro some things. And like I said, you've seen a lot of some of the paperwork I flashed, all them DVDs. It's a lot of stuff to go into, and I knew we was going to cover it. Not even the surface, really, today.
Yeah. So we coming up on what he's talking about. What my brother Jari's talking about on November 1st, on the Day of the Dead, the day that don't forget to remember. 2020, November 1st, 2016. It was like their 9/11 in some ways, where they felt
that is their 9/11.
Yeah, it was their attack. It was and you saw Tazadakia give this this weird, like he just looked bugged out, as you can see.
He looked scared. Let's just say it for what it is. You can see the fear in the dude's eyes.
Yeah. And he's trying to say, as we expected, and we know this is just like David versus Goliath. Great comeback. Yeah. David versus Goliath. Great. That's the first thing that came to his head. Now, he's supposed to be David versus the Goliath of the government. And what we expected, we shouldn't be surprised. Motherfucker, you were surprised as hell. Because if we doing wrong, why haven't the FBI done their job? If we so evil, we doing wrong, how come the FBI haven't done their job? Okay, so what you saying, because y'all haven't been doing any wrong, then the FBI, should be doing something. But okay, if they're not doing anything wrong, the FBI can't do nothing. But now the FBI have done something. So what does that mean now? No, the story has to continue on like a soap opera, and it gets pushed on.
It's the move the goalpost doctrine. That's all that's going to. If those people stay in there, they're going to let Bays and whoever else is running the joint now. I mean, he's just the face of it. I'm sure the Dirty Dozen that's running now, they have their own agendas and all that. But that's all they're going to keep on doing is moving the goalposts with these people and just keep on pushing it back. But like I said, not everyone's going for that. Time is working against them, ultimately. All this stuff you're seeing right now, this is their last push to save face because, like, once again, you have a much larger, better organized Israelite group out there right now that has better incentives. If I was comparing joining the Icgjc versus IUIC, what incentive would I have as a young man to pick? Let me join this place with 20% tights, $1,000 garment payments. I have to worship some man is the Holy Spirit. If I'm a woman, I have to be told my husband is about to get another wife any second. It's like, you look at IUIC, them dudes, they understand that tights has never been money. They understand that and been teaching that. They tell the ranking men you have to have a job before you can even get a wife up in there. And you can only have one wife in there. if I were weighing it out, I would say, no, these dudes in the purple seem like they got better incentives than these dudes that's worshiping a dead man, calling him the Holy Spirit, who has never had a successful prophecy. And please don't give me the N-word prophecy making a comeback. We were saying nigga, so the word truly, it never went anywhere. So how's it making a comeback? We never stopped saying it.
Yeah. You can
That's
see.
the dumbest. Look at some of the foolishness that we used to take as prophecy. Yeah, and then that's not even biblical. Where is that biblically that the N word would come back
Oh,
in the last days, and that's what the children of Israel be called? And please don't throw the byword
that's
scripture.
a kicker, Jari, because then now they want to separate. There's the Bible prophecy, there's biblical prophecies, and then there's prophetic Tazadaki's prophecy, which God has given him present day.
Oh yeah, we
But
can't
what
forget
happened?
that. That was brought out on the show. There's God's prophecies, and then there's also Taz's prophecies.
Then what happened with the H1N1?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh yeah. Also, with Ivan, I got to put out the disclaimer. I don't endorse or back any other BHI day camp out there. So I'm not saying IUIC is the way, because
Oh,
I just seen that crazy dude riding in on his Passover on a horse as well too, Nathaniel. So they
yeah,
all are narcissistic, crazy nut jobs from the same plant.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, if I had to do the comparison, I would clearly say that this group is more about their business than the has been ICGJC.
Steady as she goes, brother.
Steady as she goes when the ship is already sank. That
Steady
is crazy.
goes. That's actually a good song. But these cats, man, they kept this whole
That's a saying in there too, as well too. That might as well be a
thing.
scripture.
Yeah,
Steady as she goes might as well be a scripture.
yeah. You can see that on that little comment section on the side of the comforter.info where you're able to post a comment live, up on that. You could do that on that comforter.info. You could post like a comment live that'll come up and they'll block you real quick if you say something you ain't supposed to say. I've seen people put steady as she goes as if this is like that's a damn song that I think the goddamn Beach Boys made.
Not even original. I mean, that's an old sailor song. Like I said, the ship is sunk. As the ship has sunk, the captain has went down, and like I said, that's not in any
Oh my God.
mocking fashion. But at the end of the day, this dude really claimed that he could not be hurt, and you were taken out by a germ. I had COVID. The beginning of 2020, I had COVID. I wasn't I wasn't all messed up and bedridden. I had the shakes for like 2 days, some bad chills
Yeah.
for a second, and after that, I just had me a couple of sweats and all that. But I would have been considered every person, especially with them. I would have been considered every potential victor, or I had all the underlying conditions, and I'm not in the truth anymore. So I should have been out of here. And
With all
that's not
with all the
mocking, because
money with
any
yeah, with all the money that he had and the guilt, he was probably drinking away his guilt and his pain. He was hurting himself, and he probably who knows his genetic.
well, I said that earlier too. I think the stress. I don't think it was just the COVID itself. I think it was the stress of everything he had going on, all that weight. Damn, my congregation's about to find out I'm a fraud. I got to go to jail. This the Justice League Negroes is on my ass. Damn, now my top
Shout
reader
out,
is coming out against me. It's like everything was gunning at him all at once, and he lost the case. And he had
but
his enemies sitting right in the court, seeing him cop out, humble himself to the Edomites.
rest in
Damn, got a scripture up on the back of his garment that the prosecutor damn mutilated his ass on. And it's like they're seeing all this stuff in the
yeah,
congregation. They just don't want to acknowledge that you're comfortable. That was the other point I was going to say, and we're going to end it out on
rest,
this.
not just
If
the
he was
yeah.
if he was who he says he was, because those phony demands that went out, y'all forgot about the 10 demands. That all the gold has to be released back to the children of Israel. All the prisoners got to be let go out of jail and all that. So my thing with this other thing where I was just seeing capital fraud. If you're telling us the Israelites are all getting ready to be released out of prison by the hand of God, he said when these demands come out, God is going to bring America to its knees where they even going to question releasing these prisoners. If you are the God sent comforter and the beast, chaos, is wrongly accusing you of stealing from the congregation, yada, 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 and you're getting ready to go to jail for it, falsely accused, why wouldn't you just say, I am the God sent comforter, and if you lock me up unjustly, because I didn't do this, you are going to bring the wrath of God Almighty? What more reason wouldn't that be for God to release all these prisoners? You locked up the comforter. So now that prophecy is definitely going to happen where all the prisoners are going to be released. But he, according to him, he was still needed for the congregation. But if your prophecy is everyone's going to be released out of prison, you should have went and did your little bit of time with no issues and said, I'm innocent of all these charges. Y'all just had to lock me up and deal with the wrath of God.
But brother,
But instead, he copped a plea.
they pushing that further and further out and moving that goalpost because it still could happen, brother. And we still have to go to Israel. Basil said, okay, common sense, he told Volk, he says, it's common sense. If we're gonna go to Israel and Tazadaka has to take us there, obviously the only way that could happen is if he resurrects from the dead.
Yeah, he didn't say that plainly, though, because he already knows how crazy that's going to sound on a public platform. So, like I said, I believe that some of them brothers don't even believe the stuff. It's just they realize they dedicated so much of their life to this, they don't really see no turning back at this point. So some of them is just stuck in there for the long haul. This just got to be it. And that's just where some of these people is at. Some of them really are believing the delusion still, like totally believing it. But some people, they see what it is. They really see the shit show is really up. And they just trying to ride it out. Like I said, I had a sister that reached out to me a couple years ago. I ain't gonna put her on blast right now. I don't want to get her in trouble with her chief priest and all that locally. But she reached out to me a couple years ago, asked me, am I coming back? And I told her, come back to what? I mean, y'all have totally lost the crown of this movement, and you have the two holiest men on earth that's still alive that ain't saying nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and Saint Basil, vocab said, are we gonna be able to speak or hear from Arya? I already know. I already
No.
knew he was gonna say that.
I mean, what type of intelligent interview would Arya or Shar be able to give right now? I mean, them dudes up there
falling asleep at my council. The only council I had when I tried to come back, and they was all confused about it later on. Like, did you have a council, brother? I'm like, I had a council. I was trying to come back. What the fuck's going on? And they were like, brother, we gotta find your council. What date was it? And I'm like, oh my god, because Arya and Shah were there, and it was like 6:30 in the morning. I had a 9 a.m. flight. I finally got around to my council, me and my wife, at 6:30 in the morning. I went out there just because I'm like blaming myself, guilting and shaming myself that I should be in this place, man. Why I could catch hell. I done went through all this.
I ain't gonna say that. You can't blame them all the way. I'm gonna just say their administrative council was not as, or especially after the brother damn stopped dealing with the councils. That shit just turned into total chaos when the new order of apostles had to take over the council paperwork. You could forget it, brother. You could totally forget it. No, I've had his stuff in order. I'm not gonna lie. He had the council in order, except for sometime he made Minnesota wait too long. I was just gonna say that, like, brother, we should be in first in and out, but that might have been out of his control right there. So I ain't gonna put that on the brother. But I'm gonna say that the council.
I don't think Ivan was there with my council 2012. It was a Mati Makapash and Tazapuan that walked
in. Your stuff would have been just total chaos.
Shaw was up. Shaw was awake. Arya was like this. He was falling asleep, man. And then Arya on. He said, "Yeah, you could come back in." Shaw said, "You can come back in," and they said, "Okay, pending Tazadakia's approval."
Yeah.
Everything was ran by Tazadakia. Arya and Shaw right now, they're not going to give no damn. They're not speaking to anybody, man. They're going to try to hold on to whatever fame or whatever.
Arya and Shaw are going to be chill and relax in their positions until it's their time. That's pretty much it. They have nothing to fall back on. So why would they relinquish all that now? They're just probably chilling, letting these young brothers continue the charade, make sure they get their little cut or whatever they doing and all that, and that's just what it's going to be. But like I said, people is still waking up. Like I said, you just talked to someone that just left out 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago.
So that's what I'm saying. It's only a matter of time. Like here in Minnesota, there's not really, as I said, there's not a strong presence of a lot of other Israelite groups up here. So right now, these brothers are still kind of free to parade and do their thing. They're not being overshadowed by like IUIC and ISUPK and some of these other groups up here, which kind of it kind of is like where you see these cities where these other groups got a strong presence. You
Yeah.
can really see the ICGAC fading quicker in those
Yeah.
cities and areas.
Go. LA, West Coast. Where's the ICGJC on the West Coast at?
Nowhere to be found. I don't even think Portland is. As a matter of fact, when I was my last year, they had shut down the actual Portland location and made them brothers start teaching back in like libraries and stuff like that again.
Rasheed Wallace's family was up in there. He was the high priest up.
Yeah, what's up, guy?
Yeah, what's
I
up?
mean, that congregation. That was another one like Omaha. That was one of them. It was a spot where we acted like we had a congregation, but it was really just a brother and his family.
That's Joseph. That's Joseph. I believe he had the same last name, Joseph.
Yeah, Watson. No, I think his might have been Y. It was something else with a W though.
Oh,
Close enough.
wow.
It was something else, but I know that brother's probably still up in there too. So, like I said, you got some people that's just it's going to be a long haul for them.
Well, I'm glad that you're out. I think you want to wrap it up. You can have. I'm going to give you the last word if you want to say anything. I know I don't want to keep you, man. You have like I told you before we started this. Your word, everybody's testimony and experience is important. Your experience is very powerful, and I wanted you to have your own voice. And I'm sorry if I didn't get you, if I didn't, let you speak enough.
No, we said we was gonna freestyle this first one and get it organized because it's like we talked about 10 different subjects, DVDs, all that really require a whole show to go into, and it's just showing truth and falsehoods. That's really what it is. And like we said, we're gonna let no one monopolize us and make us feel like we can't speak on these things. You have some people in this that's come out of this. You came out of a damn cult. First of all, you got people that act like they did not come out of a cult and like they don't really need to get over this stuff, let it out in their own therapeutic ways, rebuild their lives again, and actually acknowledge what they went through. One of the most destructive things I've seen that happen from people leaving the ICGAC is they try to act like it didn't happen to them. I don't care if you spent 5 years up in there. 5 years of false imprisonment is still 5 years of false imprisonment. Whether it was 5, 10, 18, 30, but people try and act like this stuff didn't happen to them. They don't vent this stuff out in some cases properly. In some cases, you do have a good, solid support system that kind of helps you through this stuff when you really realize what the hell happened to you. Because I'm with certain people now, it's like wait till you wake up out of there and you really realize this was a sham, a scam. They hustled me, they played with my faith, they misinterpreted the Bible, all that. That takes a lot to rebuild when you start realizing, damn, I done missed funerals of people. I done not had a chance to build with a lot of my cross country family and all that type stuff. That stuff is going to hit a lot of people like a ton of bricks. Like I said, my first wife in the place left in 2011 before I did. I still spent another 7 years in there because I got remarried up in the place. And then when I came up out of there, I realized that too. Like I got married in a damn cult. This is not real. We can't keep on trying to build based off of a cult. And I felt actually my dang spouse at the time, I felt like she was trying to ignore it so much it wasn't healthy because whenever a conflict or issue came up, then all of a sudden the cult came up. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna keep on doing this stuff right here. That's not adding up. So I mean, these are the things that people are really gonna have to pay attention to
and say like, yeah, it is a little bit scary because you will go through it. Like anyone, if they actually catch wind of this and they're like straddling the fence, you're gonna go through all this stuff that we talking about. But it's better to go through it now than to waste another 5, 6, 7 years in that place and then to come to the same conclusion that we came to a long time ago. It's a damn lie.
Yeah, they're gonna come to that same conclusion, and it all takes just confidence, a lot of confidence in yourself. They break you down to make you think you got to rely on them for every answer. You got the answers. You have the power. You're the ones, enabling this whole thing to continue on. If you get out of there, if people get out of there by the numbers, by the hundreds, this thing's gonna start falling apart. And what's keeping people in there? I don't know, man. What makes people like Jari leave and myself, man? We went through a lot of it right now to let you know, like there's is obviously, man. We understand, like this is, you're not crazy. Like I don't think that the people are in there are stupid or crazy or insane.
Exactly.
That's
There is some crazy people up in there, and there's some
oh no,
stupid
yeah.
people in there too. Let's not get it twisted.
Why?
But that not there's a lot of smart, rational thinking people in there too. Let's put it that way.
But brother Shalaman that came on vocab, he was under me. He learned under me from Miami. He was one of the best. He almost was valedictorian. If it wasn't for a very sharp brother that became valedictorian, he would have been valedictorian. I saw him come up on that joint. I was like, oh God, he's not stupid, man. He's not a stupid dude. He's not an evil guy. He's not out here doing evil things as far as, you know what I mean. Of course, you want to talk about what he's doing in that cult and what he's doing representing and trying to back up and defend a cat like Tazadakia, man, that's evil in a way. But he doesn't understand that. He thinks his
Right.
loyal, right? We came to a point, me and you, Ivan, Shakur Gonzalez, all these brothers that had left and spoken out, be thou free Israel, Joel, I'm sorry, Noel, the brother that I'm about to do a live with, Anthony Lobo, you already know, brother, I'm gonna do a live with you real soon. Wilney, my brother, William Crider, I still love you. Dwayne Green, you know I love you, brother. All these cats, Jerome, all these cats, bro, they are powerful, man. They got a voice and they have a story to tell. And as much as they were a confirmation while they were in there, the whole fucking camaraderie of having people around you that believe the same thing. Once it's time to leave now, and we understand, damn, it's time for us to leave, whatever you want to call it, repent, reprogram, deprogram, refine, find yourself all over again. It's hard to do, and I think that's another, one of the main reasons why people stay in there. But
Right.
this is why I like having people like you on here.
Yeah,
Is
because we haven't even gotten into doctrinal things because I know you have your
oh,
differences and all that.
hard.
And And I know you ain't tripping off that or nothing. And I know there ain't no issue, but you got some people because they'll use this. Like I said, if they really want to come with like an antichrist unit dang defense against this, they're going to use the fact that you now have went into your belief system, and they're going to say so you can't listen to nothing that nigga's saying because look who he's doing a radio show with. That's irrelevant of the fact. Where I'm not like religiously superstitious. Where he's atheist. If I talk to him, the atheist spirit's going to rub off on that. All that nonsense. I'm so past that. One
No.
of the most greatest things coming up out of that place. I be trying to get out of all that BHI, ICGJC vernacular and all that stuff. We take a lot of these cliches and slangs from there. I was going to say the beautiful thing and all. I was like, I didn't start saying that till I heard them nut jobs always saying, "Oh, this is so beautiful" and all that. The great thing about coming out of that ICJC understanding is the ability to freely research again, to really comb and study through these records and really see like, damn, that was wrong as hell. That was off as hell. No, I do see what that's talking about there and all that. And you're really coming to a real conclusion. And I'm not saying a real scholarship because that was the biggest lie we ever taught. The ICJC is a group of biblically inspired scholars. There's no scholars whatsoever in the ICJC. That we would have been laughed to scorn on any professional debate panel that we would have went on. I saw that interview with James White and Rakashi Yar of GOCC. And that brother got his damn ass handed to him in the Bible, where it was ridiculous. Where I was like, these brothers don't know no history. They don't know where nothing was true. Yo, King James only reading cells. And you think you got some understanding of the Bible, and you only read one translation of the Bible because you let some ghetto nutcases in New York convince you they went through every other biblical translation, and this is the accurate one you need to read. Total BS. But brother, we'll be on this mug all night. I'm gonna just end it right here with one of the greatest things you can come out of in that place is your own ability to study again, research information, because I know they'll be misquoting the scripture on me on this, ever studying and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. Yes, we all know these scriptures.
We all know.
They don't hold power just because y'all quote these scriptures. Just understand that. But that's one of the best things is you can really, really decipher and get a much better grasp of the wisdom and logic of the Bible. I mean, there's so much up in there that these brothers ain't touched on to. As I've been debating with some brothers on some extra biblical content stuff for a while, not in a bad way, but just digging into it. Like, brother, we don't have a real original copy of anything. So how are you not willing to look at extra text to get to the conclusion of the matter?
That's part of
as we used to like to say. So that's what I'm telling people. You can't be afraid to venture out. I understand some people are afraid of losing your family, you're losing your friends. I mean, that was the fakest friendship. I ain't gonna say there wasn't real friends and brotherhood up in there to an extent. But when someone can control your friendship and brotherhood like that, you got to ask how real that is anyway. I mean, I'm not, yeah, there's brothers and sisters that you do miss, but you got to just come to the reality of right now, these lines that's been drawn in the sand, I know how they think and I know how I'm thinking. Yeah. And until they come to their right frame of mind, I just kind of know what it is. So,
yeah, I think
brothers and sisters can't be afraid of that. You're going to be an enemy until people come to a reality check. I got a brother that I got put out. I got a brother that I got put out of the church directly. Like, I brought him to counsel, got him put out of the church and everything. And we're best friends to this day now because he's out and I'm out.
Well,
he thanks me all the time for getting him put out too.
The fact that you could bring the power back to yourself, like you're saying, man, that's give yourself the power back. They make you question logical thoughts. Subconscious thoughts come to everybody's minds, which is you can't even control that sometimes. And it just comes, right? Like these thoughts. They make you question those thoughts and actually make you believe those thoughts are evil. Once you start deprogramming and leaving these things, you start bringing that back and gaining a piece of yourself back because they destroy you as a person. They destroy your entire being, your entire mentality, natural ways of coming to conclusions. Defense, your brain has a natural defense mechanism that it just, you don't even think about it. It just, boom, this happens. You just think about it as like, it just comes naturally. And they make you fear your own logical thoughts. Once you start leaving, you start coming back to who you are, and it's difficult. And like I'm sorry, you got the last word still. You just said a lot there, but I think that kind of wrapped it all up. Any last few words you want to say to current members, people trying to leave, anybody that had just left, denying trying to maybe try to come back, they don't know where they stand? What's the best thing to do at that point, man?
And listen, at that point, listen, if you really are, for those that still read it in the Bible and the scriptures, if you really read the Bible for yourself and just do a honest comparison of what you're reading compared to what you're sitting in with these classes, there's no way you can stay there. I mean, if you're really reading scripture for word, you're just going to see like what y'all are doing does not add up scripturally on no level. I mean, the most people do halfway is keep a dietary law up in there. I mean, the Sabbaths and all that's not even being kept right up in there. But like I said, brother, it'll be a whole nother topic. The people just got to let go of the fear. Right now, they're being ruled over by fear.
nothing more, nothing less. And you gotta start using some logic and all that. The main man that put the fear in you is gone. I mean, if that's not clicking with you at this point, this man was supposed to be with us forever. I say us because we all thought this way, brother. If he's gone, that's just the wake up call right there.
That's it.
That's all I can say. Like I said, if you still play, if you one of the people Icgjc for life and all that, I mean, that's just where you belong. But for those that really are really looking and saying, man, well, is it right being up in here? We're just letting you know, like, I mean, there still is life after you get up out of that place. You're not gonna get hit by the Mack truck and all that stuff, like we was told. That was his key phrase. Yep, leave out of here. The Mack truck hit you.
Well, brother, well said, man. I think, like you said, there's gonna be other opportunities. We ain't going nowhere, man. You know, we're gonna do more lives. We're gonna talk more about this. I wanted to put this brother's story and his testimony out here because I know that it's powerful. I already know what this is gonna do, and these haters are gonna come out here, and if they try to say anything about this guy right here, man, listen, man, I got
Oh
his.
no, I got to get to my part two though of how I got John Wick excommunicato after I already didn't show up to a council I didn't plan on going to anyway. So they had to throw that out there because of who I was. So no, he's excommunicated along with a sham story. We will go into that with the part two because it'll be perfect to go into with the raid and the way things went after the raid in that time period, because that's right when I end up leaving out. So we'll come back on that with a part two.
Right on, brother. Right on. And then we got to do a part 3 and tackle the doctrine.
Oh yeah, brother. That's we're just lining it up, but there's gonna be a good little series that we put together. Because we haven't even went into like doctrine, right? We haven't went into different cult tactics. We haven't went into the different departments and what they were used for to control the people and all that. They kind of just messed up, like I said, with the arrogance. Them dudes should just saved face, to be honest, because people was really getting ready to kind of leave them alone. But it's like these dudes just came out just talking reckless.
Yo, I got so much love for you, Jari, man. I appreciate what you did here. You didn't have to do this, and you did it, man. You did it well.
Oh, no, I appreciate you having me on.
You know, we will talk right after this. If you don't mind, I'm going to hit you up.
All right, no problem, no problem. All right, to the viewers, everyone that tuned in, definitely salute, peace, and blessings, and all that good stuff. Yeah, some of y'all got your numbers. My math's the same, too. I see Ivan's told me his math's the same. My math's the same, too. Now, I did that on purpose. When I did leave the place, I left my phone number deliberately, and it was good because I've had, I got a few members of Minnesota that hit me up before continuing on with the place that I was able to tell them it's a shit show. There's no point in going back, and they've woken up, reclaimed their lives, doing well, all that stuff. Some of them woke up before me. So, like I said, it's just like I said, I'm leaving it there, brother. I'm leaving it there. But yeah, to everyone that tuned in, peace and blessings. Until the next show, like I said, we're talking about a couple weeks. So yeah, they said the Day of the Dead, November 1st, whichever way you want to call it. I call it We Will Never Forget Day. That's what we'll call it.
Never forget to remember.
Yeah. All right, my brother. Until next time, I'm going to check you out then. To everyone else, peace.
All right, brother. Peace out. All right, man. Listen, that was Jari Fort. Listen, I'm not going to be on here much longer. I was supposed to pop this bottle. This shit went off fucking prematurely and shit. I wanted to pop this bottle while we was talking. I saved this shit for the end. This is a fucking $40 little mini champagne. Fucking whatever the fuck. Some French shit. Vivek some French shit. I don't know. Brother, they say that they rejoice. The angels rejoice when people come into the church and blah, blah, and suck my all of that. Guess what, man? I'm rejoicing when y'all come out of this shit. I'm rejoicing that Jari staple in this place. I remember they used to carry this brother up on a wheelchair all the way up to the second floor in 1941 for the major council. I remember this cat giving his major councils, giving his report, and being a true follower, a true believer who was disappointed. And it was not our fault. It's not something that we did wrong. They were the ones in the cult. They were the ones that gave us false hope and all this false, uh, yeah, fucking impressions of futuristic prosperity and shit. Things that were supposed to impress us, things that were supposed to show us that we're in the right place, and they failed us. We didn't fail y'all. We did what we were supposed to do. Y'all failed us. Y'all still talking shit. Y'all want to show face. Y'all want to fucking peek your head out like the Loch Ness monster every now and then and shit. Basil, we coming for your fucking little pencil neck, you fake ass motherfucker. You bitch ass nice town nigga. We gonna keep getting at you. And you could keep saying it's because these niggas can't stop fucking talking about us, you narcissistic ass sociopath. You fake ass fucking Tazadaki 2.0 nigga. We gonna talk about this shit as long as y'all keep talking about it. And y'all keep saying that the people that left, they all evil, they all wicked and so and so. What the fuck? We have nothing of value to say. You can't address nothing that we have to ask, nothing we have to say. We understand why you won't address nothing. You won't address H1N1 prophecy. You won't address shit like the fucking doll. You won't address that. Tazdak, you already addressed that. We want to hear your official response right now. There's people today in 2023 that have not heard the bullshit. And we want to debate y'all the same way as Sakari goes out there and debates, and ISUPK with Captain Cesaria, Gorilla Hebrew and shit with Sakari. Even lower level cats with all these groups go out there and debate, and they have me on, and I've debated. I have no fucking fear in debating. There's nothing I have to hide. Why can't you go out there and state your case and make yourself available for scrutiny so people can hold your feet to the fire and see how true your bullshit is? Because you know that we're going to find out. You're going to get exposed, man. You're going to get exposed for the lies, for the cover-ups, the fucking selective thinking, the red herrings that you throw out, the confusion, the ad hominems. All you do is just degrade people like Saint Ivan, who has so much history and so much to say because he did something wrong in his life at some point, as all of y'all did. Now you want to use that as poisoning the well type of fucking tactics. So, well, he did this at some point, so we can't believe in anything that he said. Come on, man. You know that he was right there with Tazadakia. What about Marwar Lamad, Mr. Noel? All these people want to talk. All these people have a story. You know, the reason why they want to talk is not because they fucking want to, oh, you know, we have to prove that we are not condemned. If we can prove that the ICGJC is not the truth, then we're not condemned, and that's all we care about. No, it's not. We got loved ones in there, and we got stories that we need to say. We got shit we've been holding in that needs to come out. You know, we got fucking, and not even if we had loved ones in there, that we know that there's people in the community that's being misled by y'all, and we want to talk about this shit. So that's why some of us speak out, and this is the reason why we did this, Mr. Jari. Thank you very much for coming out and speaking out. Your story's amazing. There's much more for us to speak about. This is just a little tip of the iceberg. This was nothing. You know, I mean, it was big, but this is just a little bit. As fucking important and how big as this is nothing compared to what we're going to do in the future, what I'm going to keep doing as my channel keeps growing more than this fucking Christ-like ICGJC channel, which is null and this shit's nowhere. ICGJC Defenders is a new channel. Where's all your followers at, man? Y'all have no fucking numbers, nothing to show. We're gonna embarrass y'all. Y'all embarrass yourselves. So keep feeding us fucking ammunition for us to expose y'all. We're gonna take it from here. Keep going. I'm gonna keep doing my lives. Thank you, everybody that came on. It's fucking Sober October. No way, Jose. Not for me, baby. Yo soy un dominicano. Let me see. All right, man, I'm out of here. Peace out. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining. Subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. Peace.